How's everyone doing today? Bit of an odd rally in Station Square, Milton Keynes. Hello Lee, hello XP, hello Rufin, hello Michelle. Hope you're all doing well. I'm not sure if there's a march today or what. A bit strange because most of pretty much the only people here are here for the rally. But apparently Piers is on his way and he's going to do a speech, and apparently Kay Shemarani as well is going to do a speech, something, and what else? Some other people as well. I didn't schedule the live stream beforehand, so the poster isn't the thumbnail, so I'm not happy with that one, but there is a poster. I don't even know if I posted it to Telegram actually, but if you look up Milton Keynes on Telegram, it will come up somewhere. Yeah, I had a good Christmas. It was my birthday the other day as well. That was really good. We're Belfast boy, ISC. Sorry to hear that, Jay. Does it exist? Hi to Queener. And I'm alright. Hope you're all good. Feel free to share it out, please like the stream. We'll see what happens while we're here. I'm not going to be doing too much today, we're just going to be filming and seeing what happens. I think there's just going to be some speeches and stuff. Also, yeah, sorry, it's windy as There's Kate. Will's over there. I don't know if we're going to be marching. I mean, probably could do with it because there's not really anyone here. As soon as we arrived, I saw some guy with a mask walking. He was wearing a mask on, and he was just walked past taking a photo. It doesn't look like the 99%. Maybe not. We'll see. Everyone have a good Christmas. Mine was pretty good. Colourful characters here. Still need to get a new stick. Can't put this one down. Got hot chocolate in one hand and phone in the other. Yeah, Michelle. Yeah, if anyone's can get to London New Year's Eve. Maybe you can afford one of the hotels there if you've got somewhere to stay. New Year's Eve, if confirmed, it's meeting at 7 PM at the London Eye, I believe. I think I posted that to my Telegram, and I posted it to the community tab on YouTube as well if you want to see that. Yeah, my Christmas was alright. Not really into Christmas myself, but it was fine. Birthday was pretty good. Went to the Wetherspoons that I'm banned from. They didn't seem to notice, which is good. How's it going? Alright, well, it's not too far, so if he left now, he'd be what, half an hour late? Pretty standard.
You can stick your poison vaccines up your ass. You can stick your poison vaccines up your ass. You can stick your poison vaccines, they cause so much disease. Stick your poison vaccines.
You say this song is cringe. Didn't it hit like number 4 on the Amazon download chart the other day?
You can stick the vaccine passports up your ass. You can stick
Oh, this hot chocolate is shit. Not bad numbers. The weather's getting better as well. It's not tons of people, but what do you reckon? 100, 150? Oh yeah, the police are here as well. Yeah, there's I don't know, there's, can't really see from here. There's some British transport police you might be able to just make out in front of the station. They've just been hanging out there. There's also behind that bus, I think there's a couple of police vans. They're just here, you know, doing the. I mean, none of them are here. Well, none of them are uniformed in the crowd, at least. Still cringe. Surprised the Streamlabs actually worked first time as well, that's nice. It took like 3 or 4 times to start the stream with Suraj last night on his channel. Questions, you play this song or fire on your chances, yeah. I think it's a good song. There are some good freedom songs and some not so good ones. You know, it takes a mixture of people. Say usual suspects, there's some people that we all know here, but it seems like there's a lot of locals here as well. Dave, I'm just here to cover it, mate. I say, just come along and see what happens. No one flower. I think the songs are like a rallying cry. That's how I was trying to explain it to my mum. I won't convince anyone of anything. They don't contain any information. But Will already palmed his camera off on someone else by the looks of it. Yeah, I don't think Find Your Trousers is going to make number 1. Hello, Gary.
You can stick the new world order up your ass.
We can do with a few more songs to switch between though. We didn't get into any fights on my birthday, which was nice. Well, I mean, Suraj nearly did, but that's him. That's what he does. Yeah, no, we had to pay a few quid for the parking here. Alright, Ben, Jim, yeah, it's good, mate. Christmas is. Oh, I had some good conversations with my family. My mum still doesn't want to get the third one. She's got the first two, doesn't want the third, which is good. Actually, maybe she's listening. Just say hi, Mum. Alright, V-Nuts. The guy makes the song sound like something from a sitcom. Yeah, maybe not so much the way he sings it, but like the piano and the sort of like the upbeat kind of lounge music vibe to it is very like a 90s sitcom. It's good. There's like families here, all sorts of different kinds of people. Have you palmed your camera off on someone already? It's over there, mate. Giving his camera to random people. Yeah, I don't know if there's a march. There's Jeff Wyatt.
We're just going to do a little sound test. Can you hear me at the back? Yeah? Excellent. Great to see so many people here today in central Milton Keynes. My name is Jeff Wyatt, and thank you. This is my manor. When I was a little boy in the early 70s, this very ground was full of sheep. Ironic, isn't it? Literally, this was the middle of the country, and I've seen this fantastic city grow up to what it is now, and I'm very proud to be an inhabitant. I've lived and worked here all my life, and what I have seen develop in Milton Keynes is now at jeopardy because of what we are being thrown at by this government and the New World Order around the world, and I really resent that because this city is not what it was supposed to be. And I know every single one of us is living in towns and villages and cities around this country suffering from the same thing. And this is why we're all here today. And I hope you appreciate the good weather, nice and mild, which is what it's all about. But we've had 22 months. Some of us have been awake to this since pretty much day one. That was me. I pretty much woke up at day one, having been basically asleep to what is going on before, but my awokeness hit me like a runaway truck. On April the 24th, I've got a WhatsApp profile picture of me holding up one of my famous placards. Would you hold it up? As modelled by my good friend Vesna. And on the 24th of April, I stood outside Milton Keynes Library with a placard that says, "I'm not a number, I'm a free man." And it was just me and one friend that turned up. And I think he's here today, George. Well done, George. It was just me and George. Round of applause for Mr. George Harlock. I turned to George and I said, "George, I don't get it. Does everybody not get what's going on here?" And since that moment on April the 24th, the movement has grown to literally millions. The genie is out of the bag, ladies and gentlemen, isn't it? Yeah. We all know, and there are millions of us that know what's going on, and that movement that started with just a few thousand rapidly turned into tens of thousands and then hundreds of thousands. And I guess that most of us in this crowd today, and it's great to see so many familiar faces, and indeed unfamiliar faces. There's some new people here, and you are just as welcome. Who has only just woken up over this last few months? Just stick your hands up if there's anybody new to the movement. Fantastic. Fantastic. And she's wearing one of Anna Breeze's t-shirts as well. So she's fully subscribed to what this is all about. And my lady, this is all about you, because we need to wake more people up.
And we are waking people up, because there is one certainty. The group that we have become is growing by the day. And when people wake up to what's really happening, they ain't going back to the other side. Nobody changes sides. Do you agree, Darren? This is good versus evil, and whether we like it or not, when we wake up to what's really going on here, because we know it's not about health, we know it's about control, and we're not having it, are we? No! We are free people, especially the English in England. Yes. We have Magna Carta, we have the British Constitution. And we need to respect that, and we need to exercise those rights. Because if we are on the front line, ladies and gentlemen. I'm really proud that we've got such a nice crowd here today in central Milton Keynes. And we're going to do some speeches, and we're going to march up to the central area of Milton Keynes via the COVID vaccination centre, which is just a few hundred yards away over there. And I am reliably informed that that buffoon of a Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, was there this morning. He told the world after he left, apparently. Boris Johnson, we know what you're doing. We know that you are a puppet on the string of the New World Order. We know what you are doing, and we know that it's not about health, this is about control, this is all about crashing the economy, this is all about digital control, this is all about a cashless society. And there are officially 23.5 million people in this country that have not taken a single dose of the poison. And I think, just as an important statistic, and Boris Johnson and you buffoons in Whitehall, you can massage the statistics, you can lie, and you can fraud the people with the numbers, but there are too many of us that have woken up now. The genie is out of the bottle. And I think another important statistic is those extra millions on top of the 23.5 million that have stopped taking the second jab, and stop taking the third jab, and will not take the fourth jab. Do you agree? Yes. It's growing not just in this country, it's growing around the world. And it's a very, very important thing, because we have got the most important fight on our hands right now. And if we do not fight it, there is nobody else. We are it. We cannot rely on anybody. We cannot rely on Lord Jonathan Sumption, retired Supreme Court judge, although that man says some very good things. The day after I was arrested at Speaker's Corner at Hyde Park on May the 16th, 2020, he went on the BBC and stated that his country has become a police state. How about that?
I did a year in 2020.
A Supreme Court judge calling his country, my country, your country, a police state. And he has said other things in public as well. But Lord Jonathan Sumption, it's not enough, my friend. You need to do more. You need to come on the streets with the people, either at small regionalised rallies like this, or on the big city centre rallies like we've all been into at London, in Birmingham, in Newcastle, in Manchester. Show your face, man. Because this is what you can create a legacy for yourself. Don't just talk about it behind the camera. You need to show your face. Just like Gary Neville, the esteemed England footballer, who again has said some good words about waking up to this tyranny. Well, Gary Neville, it was all very well you putting support together for the big rally that happened in central London on the 18th of December, Saturday the 18th of December. You promoting that was one thing. But where were you, man? You needed to be on the streets with us. We have all shown our heads above the parapet, and I know for certain that there are a lot of people in this crowd that have either lost their jobs or are under the threat of losing their jobs. I've already met a nurse who knows that she is going to be sacked by the NHS this coming spring because she will refuse to take the poison. This is tyranny and this is fascism. And people like Gary Neville, with your traction that you've got, you need to do more, man. Matt Le Tissier, exactly the same. Come on, Matt. back these good words that you've got by coming out with the people and doing more. Do you agree?
A year on the lockdown conditions.
I've also got Noel Gallagher on the list as well. Noel Gallagher, you haven't got away with it. Come on, man, where are you? You've got a big gob on you. You've got plenty of millions in the bank account, and there are lots and lots of people in this country that have not got millions in the bank account that have stuck their head above the parapet, and we need to see more, because, ladies and gentlemen, this is really, really serious, and we are the front line, and it is great to see so many people supporting these various rallies around the country. Now, our plan today is, well, originally it was going to be all about John O'Looney, the funeral director, who lives within a mile of where I stand now. Now, up until about a quarter of an hour ago, I hadn't heard from John whether he was going to attend or not. I suspected he would not attend because, as I'm sure most of you know in the crowd, that he has had a traumatic experience through ill health, which allegedly is COVID-19, but nobody knows. There are a lot of questions that are flying around about what has actually happened to John O'Looney. But I've just had a message from him, from his mobile, on text, which hasn't fully come out because I only use a dumb phone, and the reception isn't good enough. Just had the last page of the text sent to me, and he sends his best wishes to you. So that is brilliant news that he's alive and kicking. That is great news. Round of applause for John O'Looney. Now, up until a quarter of an hour, 20 minutes ago, I had no idea, even though I live locally and I've been to John's office and I've met his wife, and they run a lovely tight business over in Emerson Valley. And I was none the wiser, like the rest of us, of what is really going on. But it's a very, very big story there, and we need to give John and his family the space to get well again, because he's obviously unwell. Nobody in the movement has ever denied that there is a bug going around harming people. But that bug, which authority calls COVID-19, is killing people over the average age of death. It is not killing 99.97% of people that it inflicts. Let me repeat that. 99.97% of people that get it are not dying. It is only the 24th worst killer in this country. People are still dying in their hundreds of cancer, in their hundreds of cardiac issues, in their hundreds from respiratory conditions. Even septicemia is a bigger killer than COVID-19. But we've got a situation where still, 22 months later, these frauds, these puppets of the New World Order in Whitehall are conning the people of this country and the world. And it's got to stop. I have to admit, there are still a lot of people, some people close to me, that can't quite believe what's happening. And I see the population in there's three types of people. There's us that totally understand the con and the fraud and have woken up to what is going on now and understand that this is about health, it is about control and crashing the economy and protecting those wealthy people at the heart of the New World Order, the Rothschilds, the DuPonts, the Rockefellers, with their puppets Fauci and Gates, etc. We understand that. And there's another third of the population that are totally bought into the lies and the deceit. And do you know what? I can sort of understand it, because the resources that this government are putting into conning these people is immense. The work and the money that is being spent on the fraud, and it is everywhere. As soon as you turn on the television, the propaganda is there. You can't watch it, can you, ladies and gentlemen? I put it on. I put the BBC News on every day just to remind myself why I don't watch it. It normally takes 20 seconds. And we cannot watch it any longer. And it's not just the news. These subliminal messages are everywhere. But Boris Johnson, Sajid Javid, Rishi Sunak, you preferred New World Order people, the genie's out of the bottle, because there are 23.5 million people that have not taken the vaccine. And that is a lot of people. And I use the word vaccine erroneously because it does not conform to the definition of what a vaccine is. When you have a professor called Luc Montagnier, who is the French professor who discovered the HIV virus in the 80s, when he says in a written submission to the International Criminal Court that he believes the vaccine and the virus are bioweapons, and he's backed up with other experts like Dr. Richard Fleming, again another world-renowned cardiologist, when they put their names to such submissions, you have to take it seriously. And I noticed just this week, the senior editor of the British Medical Journal has raised his head above the parapet, and I forget the guy's name now, I've not seen him before, but it's important not only because of his role and because of his position. Peter Doshi, thank you. Simone Clout, good to see you. A woman at the nose, one of our speakers. Peter Doshi, a fresh face, has gone public by saying that it's madness what is going on. The truth is out there, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm addressing the people in the middle now. I'm addressing the people a bit like this lady here who just a few months ago was asleep but now she's awake, and let's give her another round of applause. Because those people are how we're going to win this, and we are winning this. And the reason why we are not suffering the lockdowns and the extraordinary COVID pass regimes that our friends in Austria and Germany are, and indeed in New York City. Have you seen the videos of what's happening in the restaurants in New York, where New York police officers are going in, turfing out families for not having the right papers? This is why I'm wearing this on my arm again. And I spent several months this year wearing the yellow Star of David with "not vaccinated" written on it, because I know it's a deep message. But this is the ultimate tribute to the Jews, because this is what is happening in our world today. And we're not going to stand for it, are we? And what we're doing today is massive, because this is what they fear. They fear the numbers on smaller regional meets like this, just like they fear the big numbers in the city centres. It's the numbers that count, and I really thank all of you for making the effort to come to Milton Keynes to support this rally. I'm sorry that John O'Looney has been stricken with illness and he can't make it, but we have got Kate Shemirani. She's on her way. Simone Plout is a friend of Kate's. She's on her way, hopefully. Not seen her yet. She's the sort of person you know when she's here. And she's not here. But hopefully she will be very, very soon. But we've also got other local speakers in the shape of Darren Hayward, my friend Darren, who came out of the crowd. There was a crowd like this in central Milton Keynes in the summer, and I had a few words with Darren, and I thought, my God, this guy knows stuff. And one of the most courageous, authentic voices that I've met this year, and I'm delighted to say that he's speaking again. There's been 2 or 3 occasions when Darren has spoken in Milton Keynes, and he has gone around the country giving the wisdom of his knowledge of the New World Order and their tyranny that they're imposing on the world. His understanding of the history of the fiat monetary system is second to none, and I hope Darren will be speaking about that in his speech, and he will be first to speak after me. Oh, just lost my balance there. I'm not drunk, honestly. Then we have Simone Plout, who has a career background in the medical world. Always an interesting lady to hear speak. And then we have the irrepressible Piers Corbyn, who again is not here yet. Has anybody seen Piers Corbyn? He's always late, and today is no different. Now, on May the 16th in 2020, one of the reasons I went to Hyde Park was to meet Piers Corbyn, because I was told by Ofcom that I could not listen to this grown man, this astrophysicist of note, talking about the link, the possible link, the probable link between 5G and COVID. And I really resented that. And that day I met Piers, and 5 minutes later I was arrested. And I've been swerving arrest since then when I meet Piers Corwin. And Piers is fearless. He's 74 years of age now, and what he has done for the movement is pretty impressive. And he carries on doing his work, and I applaud him. And I never expected to stand up in public and call a Corbyn a friend, I have to say. But that's what he's become, because this is not about left and right politics. This is not about young and old. This is not about male and female. Although I have to say the movement until now has been pretty much female. But I'm pleased to say there's a lot of blokes here today. Well done, guys. Good to see you supporting the women. It's very important. I hear there was a group called Alpha Males that met on the beach of southern England yesterday at Littlehampton. So congratulations to that group of people that have just started. Yeah, there's one gentleman here who's obviously there, Mr. Wayne. It was a good day, yeah? Excellent. Well, that's good to hear that we've got the blokes finally realising the gravity and the seriousness of the situation. And back in May 2020, I was hoping the younger generation would wake up and join the movement, and they've done that in numbers, which is really, really good to see. Ladies and gentlemen, another speaker we're going to have today is Debbie Hicks. Debbie Hicks from Stroud. Debbie Hicks has always got something very interesting to say what is going on, and she famously was arrested for filming an empty hospital in Gloucester just over a year ago. And I'm hoping Debbie will give us an update on her various court hearings that she has been harassed with, frankly. And I have been on a couple of those hearings to support her down in Cirencester and Stroud. And it is diabolical that we have a CPS in this country that are trying to, frankly, persecute a young lady, alleging that she is harassing people, and going to a court hearing with no evidence. What is happening to the judiciary? What is happening to the CPS? It is pure harassment. And I think it's a badge of honour, Debbie, for how much grief and how much support that you are giving the movement about the intimidation and the harassment that you are still suffering at the hands of the CPS and the police. And I look forward to hearing what Debbie has to say. So, ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot more that I could say. I could talk for hours about this. I know a lot of us have heard all the stories about Carrie Mullis, Dr. Richard Fleming, Senator Scott Jensen. The world is full of experts, and the world is full of mainstream media that is not giving these experts like Dr. Vernon Coleman the platform that they deserve. And there was a 4-minute video that Dr. Vernon Coleman, that famous English doctor, retired, did back in November, where he quoted a well-renowned medical journal called the Circulation Journal, where they published specific proof that the vaccines was murdering people. Murdering people. This is the genocide that's happening. The proof is out there in plain sight, and people have just got to do their research. And I'm hoping that anybody that's sort of sitting on the fence that's listening to these speeches today, go and do your research and just pick one of the names that's been quoted. Let me give you one that I'd like those people that know that something isn't quite right. Go and research Dr. Michael Yeadon, the Chief Scientific Officer retired of Pfizer. He produced so-called proper vaccines for a long time, and he has been one of the leading voices telling the population of the world about the poison, about the bioweapon that these so-called vaccines are. So, ladies and gentlemen, if anybody is on the fence, Dr. Michael Yeadon, go and do your research. That man has put his head above the parapet, just like I hope Gary Neville does, just like I hope that Matt Letizia do. So you got the message, Gary? You got the message, Matt? Hopefully so. So I'm going to pass over to my friend Darren Hayward now, and let's give him a round of applause, a really authentic local voice. Thank you. Hello, Milton Keynes. It's a great turnout, by the way. I've got to speak really close to this mic. I've got a bit of a problem. Has anyone seen the flu? It seems to have been missing for quite some time. If anyone finds it, can you let me know? Maybe that way they'll get the police to do some research and actually find the flu. And while they're at it, if they wouldn't mind investigating the DNRs and the nil by mouth orders that were placed on 186,000 of our elderly last year, I'd really appreciate that. You might have seen it, hashtag Bedazzleam, and it's not going away. We're not going to forget. And it's a bit worrying that they've also purchased another load of it, 2 more tons. So, look after your elderly people, because we've seen what they do. And they've so far not arrested anyone for the hate crimes that are entering all of our homes at the moment. Through the media, the mainstream media, which, by the way, are owned in the main by 2 groups. That's the Associated Press and the Rothschilds. Oh, I forgot. The Associated Press is also owned by the Rothschild. My bad. Right. I could go on about the New World Order, and I'm going to spend a little bit of time on it because Jeff's asked me to speak about it. Right, and people are right when they say it's not about a virus, it's about control. I'm going to stop there now. Remind me to come back to that because I've missed an important bit. That's who I am. All right. I'm just an ordinary working class guy. You can see the way I'm dressed. I've come straight from the building site to talk to you today. All right. I've never been political. Never had any interest in politics in my life. But my nan, bless her, she spent 4 years in the war in Bletchley Park over there because she stupidly threw the crossword in. Right? She thought she was going to win a prize. Instead, she was met by 2 guys in trench coats and taken to Hut for Enigma, where she spent the entire war breaking codes. She actually cracked a German cipher. She was met off stage at the West End and spent the entire war effort there doing what she did for freedom. My great uncle flew over Sword Beach on D-Day and liberated the first town in France as part of the 101st Airborne. So me standing here today is because they were willing to sacrifice their todays for our tomorrows. Alright? We mustn't forget that. Even though those in power today forget it, because Boris Johnson didn't wear a black tie on Remembrance Sunday, he wore a blue tie. He wore a blue tie because he thinks the Tory party are more important than those who are willing to give him the right to stand there on that Sunday. Alright, we don't forget. They forgot, but we don't. And on that Sunday, if you were anywhere near an epitaph, you would have seen these words: "From my failing hands to yours, I throw to you the torch for you to hold upon high." That torch, ladies and gentlemen, is the torch of liberty. The flame of liberty. And you're all here because you still believe in liberty. Alright? Now, liberty is made up of several things. There's sovereignty and truth. You are sovereign beings and you stand in truth. And because you stand in truth, you can't be denied. It will shine through no matter what. It will always come through. The truth can't be hidden. They're doing their very best to hide it, and one of the ways they're doing it is through the media. Now, going back to the New World Order, really, it's never been about a virus. Now, I'm going to come back to this virus in a minute. But I'm going to tell you about the New World Order because it's really modelled and comes from the banking system. The banking system was created way back in the Ottoman Empire days and even further back through different currencies, because there's a difference between money and currency. Okay, currency is backed by the value of a coin or gold or a commodity, and money's not backed by anything. So you've got to get it quite clear in your head as to what it is that's going on out there. Now, banking systems way back in the day were able to perform and function quite well for society because you would put your money in the bank, your money, or a currency in the bank, and the bank would honour that by keeping what's called a reserve, right? And that reserve, back in the day, was simply that all the money had to be kept, and they would make money through their investments, and banks would survive like that, and they would take a little bit off the top. Well, what's happened over the years, and it's quite clear what's happened if you do the reading, there's a reason why you're not taught economics at school at early levels, because if you actually knew the truth, you'd all been on the streets years ago. It wouldn't have got this far. Okay, so economics has been hidden from you. In fact, the true inflation rate has been hidden from you. I can tell you now, it's already negative. But they won't tell you that, alright? They're popping the system up. What's happened is they bled the well dry. It's been bled dry for a long time. And it's happened over a period of years where all they've kept doing is making money through a cycle of debt, alright? You might have noticed in the 50s and 60s, the man and the woman went to work. And there was enough money to put the kids through an education, have their holiday. In the 70s, it's changed a bit. The 70s, the women's rights movement. Oh, and by the way, this isn't an anti-vax movement. This is a civil rights movement, okay? So when someone says anti-vax, they're talking out their arse. I'm not anti any sort of medical procedure which can help people. What I'd like to do is open it up and make it about freedom of choice, freedom of liberty, because that's what's important, all right? Your civil rights, your ability to work, all right, to enjoy your life. And that's all it is, it's the pursuit of happiness, okay? So what we're talking about here is a cycle of debt that's been allowed to happen. And why did it happen? It's quite simple. Because corporations, which came about through the use of stocks and shares and the joining of companies to conglomerate and form more powerful companies to lessen the competition so they could corner markets. Eventually, the government sought to fight that with the formation of peers and yellow peers, with the creation of monopolies commissions. Well, eventually the corporations bought the monopolies commissions, and the banks effectively they stem back to the central banks of Europe. They started off with 5, right? That was Frankfurt, Rome, Paris, London, and I believe it was Naples. I might have forgotten, I can't remember the other one. Anyway, there was 5 of them. They were all stem back to the Rothschilds, okay? The Rockefellers, by the way, had their interest in pharmaceutical products. But as far as the banking system goes, it was the Rothschilds. Now what's happened is the cycle of debt, as you know it and I know it, this is the way it really works, okay? The government aren't in charge, they never have been. Okay, corporations, governments seek to balance the books by loans from the central banks. In this country, it's the Bank of England. What the Bank of England does is it lends the money, right, and the government give the Bank of England what's called government bonds. The government bonds then get sold on, and they get broken apart, and if you really want to look at all this system, I suggest you read a book, a fantastic book, which illuminates the lie and the fraud of the banking system, okay? This book, please remember the title's name, is called The Creature from Jekyll Island by Edward Griffin, okay? Now, I don't want to spoil the book for you, so I'm going to leave you to do your own research on this, and when you read that book, which by the way was written well before the pandemic, and there has been no pandemic, because if you look at the figures from the all-cause mortality over the last 5 years, there's been no pandemic. All that's happened is the deaths from what people who would have died of the flu, seasonal flus, have been changed to the deaths from COVID-19. Okay? So, what I'm trying to say to you is, when you look at how the banking cartel has been formed, it started off with these 5 cities, and the interest started to spread, right? And then you have the creation of what was called the Federal Reserve, which this book, Edward Griffin's book, centres on. And what happened was, previously, 75% of the world's money, this is the world's wealth, was owned, right, by 6 families. 6 families back in 1910. Let that figure sink in. 75%, 3/4 of the world's wealth was owned by 6 families. Now, what they'd been doing up until that point was competing with each other, all right? In 1910, on an island called Jekyll Island, off the coast of Georgia in the United States, these families met in secret, and they met in secret under assumed names. They hid themselves away on this little island and hatched a plan to entrap and enslave the world. And I'm really not joking, I wish I was. I really wish I was. And 1910, that meeting took place. The opposition to the creation of the Federal Reserve was sunk, funny enough, on a ship called the Titanic in 1912. All right, they were the people who had the opposition to the creation of that, and they lied and they formed their own opposition against their own formation of it. Which, by the way, that bill got pushed through Congress on Christmas Eve at 4:30 when everyone was going home. Okay. Now, over the course of the next 70 years, there were little bits added, more and more and more. And eventually they owned now, through 2 companies, two mega companies, we've now got effectively 82 pence of every pound that you spend in your pockets after taxation goes back to 2 companies, BlackRock and Vanguard, and good luck finding out who the shareholders are. Okay, now I'm going to talk about the virus very quickly now. So please read that book, The Creature from Jekyll Island by Edward Griffin. Now, very quickly, I'm going to talk about the virus, because people seem to think that there isn't a virus or there is a virus, whatever. Let me just put that to bed for you. Now, I study law, and all law systems that are here come from 4 ideas. 1, do no harm to a person. 2, do no harm to a property. 3, if you went in agreement, honour it. 4, remain peaceful. All right, they're called universal divine laws. Your human rights, which are protected, right, by the European Articles of Convention, in fact, under so many laws, Discrimination and Equality Act 2010, I could go on with a whole list of how those laws and your divine rights are protected, but the judiciary is silent because the government is effectively, the government of the UK is built on 2 things. I don't want to explain the law to you because I really can't be bothered and other people need to speak. But the reality is this, okay, we have a tripartite system, the legislature, which make the law, the executive, which enforce the law, the councils and police, and the judiciary, which interpret the law. We've got a legislative process, which is on steroids at the moment. We've got the executive, which are given more powers, and the judiciary, which are having their powers taken away. There's been what used to be the separation of powers, and what used to keep those separation of powers in check, and us, so that we're all safe, was what was called the watchdog of British justice. That was the press. Except, unfortunately, who owns the press? The same people who own the government. All right, and I'm really not lying. So there's a massive conflict of interest, not just on the governmental level, but at every level in the media, everything else. I'm thankful to Willsy here for turning up today from GB Resistance, because without him and without other people here, 2 brothers and the other 2 guys here. So who are you guys?
Media consumer.
So we've got media consumer.
What the fuck's going on?
And what the fuck is going on? All right, and GB Resistance. All right, and also the Light Paper and Unity News Network. These are the places that I go to keep an eye on what the public eye is. And let me just tell you this very quickly, all right? We are winning. It's checkmate in 12. It doesn't matter what they do, all right? Because we're all waking up. Now, things are going to get rough. I'm not going to lie, because they've got 2 tools left, right? Fear. They're going to do more fear, and eventually force, right? Well, I look in the crowd now, and I'm seeing men here. Okay, I'm seeing real men here, and I'm really proud, because I know I'll stand and I'll fight. And if we start to band together, right, if there is 28 million people, 23.5 million people in this country, which haven't taken it, well, put that in half. What are we on? 12 million guys? How many are in the army and the police joined together? It's game over, gents. You better start listening. Now, that's not a threat. I'm just stating facts, and I'm exercising my civil liberties, my rights to talk. Very quickly, I just want to say that you're all diamonds. And you know how I know that? Diamonds are formed by pressure, heat and time. And you've all been experiencing a little bit of pressure, a little bit of heat and a little bit of time. And you've all survived the greatest psyop this world has ever seen. All right? And what does it mean to be sovereign? Okay? It means you don't look the other way. It means you face your fears. It means you stand up for the voiceless. You stand up for the young. You stand up for the old. You stand up for your neighbour. Because I don't care what colour you are. You all bleed red. I am your brother. Okay, you're my brothers and sisters, and I will not watch any of you be dragged away. I promise you that. Right? We are the power, we are the people, and we stand together. We stand together! God bless you all, please. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you, Darren Hayward. You know, that is authenticism. 1 minute he's on a building site digging holes, and the next minute he's in front of several hundred people talking about the tyranny that's happening in the world. And that, for me, is what this is all about, because they fear that. The ruling class fear what you've just heard and what you've just seen. Thank you, Darren. You're brilliant. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, another round of applause. Thank you. Your next speaker is going to be Simone. Thank you. Simone Plout. All I know is that she has some very interesting things to say from her medical background. So, Simone Plout.
Hello, thank you very much for giving me a chance to speak. There are many people in this audience I recognise who've done some incredible things, and I'm very proud to be involved in this movement. I'm a health and safety specialist, and I've been involved in writing expert witness reports. I've done risk assessments. I did one for the masks in schools case, which I know has been used by a lot of parents to fight the tyranny in schools. It is shocking what the schools are doing to our children. They're literally lining them up and marching them off to be injected. I know of one secondary school where 14 children have been affected by the vaccine, and those children are now, we don't know how many how severe the reactions were. But that is shocking. And those schools had been served notices of liability. They knew there was a risk, and they proceeded and continued with having their premises used for the administration of the vaccine. I'm sure all of you are reading the same stuff online that I'm reading and learning about the impact on immunity, the impact, the graphene hydroxide and all the other so-called proprietary ingredients that are protected by protected from freedom of information requests that are in those vaccinations. What I've come today to ask you about is I'm working with a team, a legal team. We're collecting evidence of people who've been injured by the vaccination. If you know anyone who would be prepared to come forward, or if you yourself have been affected, or you know of someone who has died tragically, we're trying to get as much information as possible. I will be in the crowd. Please come up to me and give me your details if you're prepared to do that. I'm working with Broad Yorkshire Law, and we are putting evidence together for a challenge to the safety of the vaccine. I've spent my professional career as a health and safety specialist. I know it's a profession that is considered to be wrapping people in cotton wool, but I don't work that way. I actually look at the risks and benefits and do a balance. And I've come up with risk assessments for tandem parachute jumps for people with autism. I've done risk assessments for huge events for people in wheelchairs. I've done a whole load of you know, health and safety is useful in some areas. And yet here we are in a country with health and safety laws, and there is no safety around this vaccination. And yet they carry on, even though the safety signals are glaring us in the face, and they're telling us that this vaccine is far from safe. And at the other end, we're being told that people are still catching the bug. The bug that we're supposed to be protected from, they're still catching it, and they're still passing it on to others. So, well, it wears off after a while, and then you have to have another one. So it's not effective. You've got to have more and more of them, and there's a risk of having it in the first place. So what are we doing to our population? Well, I'm standing in the company of people who know that that's not a good idea. And thank goodness people are standing up and saying no. But if you know anybody who's been injured, please come up to me and give me your details so I can get evidence ready for a legal case. That would be really helpful. I'm going to hand the microphone back to Jeff. It's a great honour to come and speak to you, and thank you so much for coming out today in the cold.
Okay, thank you very much, Simone Plout. You always hear sensible things from this lady, and it's the variety of speakers, the variety of talent that's in the movement that I think has just been demonstrated there by the very wise words from Simone. So thank you very much, Simone Plout. Okay, the next speaker, Debbie Hicks. Are you ready, Debbie? Can you hear at the back? Yeah, is all good at the back? Excellent, thank you. Okay, Debbie Hicks.
Okay, hello Milton Keynes! We are here for freedom! Freedom! This is an amazing turnout for a few days after Christmas. This is fantastic. And as Jeff said at the beginning, again, welcome to all those news people. This is what it's all about. This is what I want to talk about today. Sorry, is that better? Yeah. What I was going to say is it's about all the new people that are coming on board. This is what we're here for, is waking people up to the truth. So thank you to those people. A round of applause again for people that are here, maybe for the first time today. This is what we do this for. But anyway, I want to talk about two things today. Firstly, I want to give you a quick update on what's going on with me and my cases, because I think this is really important for our movement. Now, some of you might be aware that a few days ago last week, I was in court in Cheltenham for organising a protest in Stroud last November. Now, I wasn't expecting to get off with that charge because most of us in the movement have been convicted. Lots of people have had convictions, and I've got a previous conviction as well. I went through a 4-hour trial, and I insisted. The CPS showed their evidence to the court, their edited evidence, as Wilsey will know about, to the court of how the police handled that protest in Stroud. I know, Jeff, you were there as well, weren't you? And I insisted that the court was shown independent footage, and this is why what you guys do is so important, because in a court it can swing things, and it swung it for me, this independent footage. The independent footage showed the police brutality on that day in Stroud. The fact that they knocked people over to the ground. They sent TSG from London all the way to a tiny Cotswold town to overwhelm us. A peaceful protest where people even kept apart because it was during a lockdown. The judge watched this, and I looked at his face and he was shocked at the policing. He went away and he said in his verdict that the policing was unreasonable, it was disproportionate, and that it was a breach of my human rights under the Human Rights Act. And I was found not guilty on both charges of being at a rally and organising a rally. Now, this is just a magistrate's court, it's just lower courts, but it's significant for me because what I've been trying to do the last few months is I have been crowdfunding to get to the High Court on either an appeal in the High Court or a judicial review on the right to protest. This is important stuff because what they've actually done is they've given me a gift. They've given me a gift. What they've done is they've given me one conviction and they've given me one not guilty charge. And what that actually means is when I go to court with the guilty conviction charge and I take it to appeal, the High Court judge will look at the other not guilty charge, and he's more likely to sweat it in our favour. So we've got a chance now on appeal and in the High Court, and that's what I'm going to be focusing on over the next few months, is getting our right to protest into the higher courts and perhaps doing a judicial review on this. So, I will keep going. This is important. I say to all of you here, there's all sorts of people here from all sorts of backgrounds in the NHS, in education, in all sorts of care workers. Any of you from those backgrounds here, care workers, NHS, education, put your hands up. Lots of people, lots of hands. What I say to you, and I know it's hard, is all of you, wait until they get rid of you from your jobs and use it. Get it into the courts. Speak to people like the amazing Simone here and other people that are looking at appeals.
Workers of England Union.
Workers of England Union. So if you check out the Workers of England Union, use all of these to get it into the courts. We need to bombard the courts with our appeals. Using the law, what we've got left of it. Let's use this fucking system for us as well. Not let them use it against us. That's what I'm trying to do. All of you, please do this. And if we all do it, and I tell you what I think's happening, it's starting to change, guys, isn't it? Can you feel it? It's changing. And I tell you what I think's going to happen, it's all timing, is I think the High Court judges are pissed off with Boris Johnson at the moment because he wants to take their role away. He wants to remove the judiciary. This is our time to go bam into the High Courts because we are likely to get a lot more of them on our side. So let's go for it with the judicial system. The other thing I want to talk about is all these new people here. It's all about you. This is what we do it for, is an awakening. And we're really reaching that tipping point. I really feel it, that sort of golden number that we need to stop this. And I think we're getting there. And my son, if he doesn't mind me mentioning this, he always gets embarrassed. Can you just hold up that blue banner, Kale? What I'm going to embark on in the new year is trying to talk to as many people around the country about the Great Reset. We need to start moving ahead now. We've done lots on the vaccine. We've done lots on vaccine passports, even though that's still important. You know, we've been talking about COVID until the cows come home. We're all fed up with talking about COVID. We need to get one step ahead now. We need to talk about the Great Reset, because this is what it's all about. And they're moving ahead with that as we speak. What they're moving ahead with is the digital currency, digital economy. They're looking, this is what's coming in the next year. Don't be fooled by all these games with Boris and the Christmas parties. They are getting ready to remove representative democracy. And as much as many of you here might not like that system, what they have got in place is far worse. Citizens' assemblies online, guys. These will not be people. These will be artificial entities behind a screen that they create. We will have no way at all of having a voice. Nothing at all. So we have to take control of this issue and get a debate out there with these kind of questions we've got on this poster about what is the Great Reset, about what is it, what kind of political system do we want, how do we engage people in politics, how do we make sure people are represented, what do we do to change that awful corrupt system we're fighting, because what they're trying to bring in is far worse, and they're going to dress it up as though it's direct democracy. And people like Extinction Rebellion, this is what they're pushing for. Look at all that stuff online, is citizens' assemblies. And what I'm going to say, final thing I'm going to say, and this is where it gets really scary, if there's a general election next year, and I can't believe I'm saying this, I'm an ex-Labour activist, Labour supporter. If there's a general election next year and Labour win, it'll be far worse. If Labour win, it's going to be far worse. Keir Starmer is their #1 man, the New World Order. He will mandate vaccines like they're doing in other countries. He will mandate it. I'm certain of it. So whatever we do, we need to think about next year. What's going to happen? Are we going to have a general election? I think we probably will. I think we're going to be overwhelmed by the Tories going on about a new leader. Do not let them distract you with their games. Keep going, keep fighting, keep making sure that these wonderful new people here are welcome in our movement, welcome on our marches. Even the masked people, and I know we struggle with that, make them welcome on our marches, and we'll get bigger and bigger, and I know we're going to. And we are going to stop this. I can feel it now. Thank you.
Fantastic, Debbie Hicks. One of the bravest women I know. What she has done is fabulous, and yet again there's some really wise words there. And I'd just like to sort of follow up what she said about sensing change. I have been on the other big protest scene. I want to mention Karen Reddick here, one of my friends from London. She has organised a group of Londoners on the side of the roads of London for several months now, and I've joined her on one occasion, and it was just after the Christmas party fracas broke cover, and I sensed a massive change on the streets. The first time I did a yellow ball protest here in Milton Keynes with my Milton Keynes friends, there was a degree of hostility. There was a lot of people in the middle that were just not looking or not reacting. But 2 weeks ago, when I joined Karen and about 20 of her friends with that very poster, funny enough, the reaction on Marylebone Road was warm. It was different. And I think that people have got totally pissed off with the piss take that Whitehall has thrown at the people by the Christmas party fracas. That's what I saw on the streets, and that has woken up a lot of people. And I think that is very important, and that is one of the reasons why those 23.5 million people who have not taken a single vaccine will not go anywhere near those poison jabs. Debbie Hicks, thank you very much. Round of applause for Debbie Hicks. Now, I've just had a message from Kate Shemarani. She can't make it today, but she is planning to speak to us via the telephone. Simone? Where's Simone? Okay, we're going to get Kate on the telephone, and hopefully this will work. As a lot of you know, my IT skills are pretty rubbish, but I'm hoping we'll just put a microphone to the telephone and we'll hear some words from Kate. As a little bit of a build-up here, Kate, as most of you will know, has been summoned to appear before Westminster Magistrates Court just before Christmas, and despite having genuine reasons to not attend that court hearing, the hearing went ahead in her absence and there was some sort of verdict thrown down. So I'm hoping Kate will mention something about what has happened there and what her plans are to go forward from that very questionable procedure that has been thrown at her. And Fiona Hine was very bravely represented herself in that same hearing, and she was given and handed down a conviction for arranging what we're doing today. How about that? A free English person doing what we're doing today, and she got police attention and eventually a court hearing where she has been convicted on doing what we're doing now. That is the tyranny, that is the dystopia, and congratulations for her for standing up to it. Kate had her reasons for not turning up, and I'm hoping she might mention something here. We'll see.
Can everyone hear me?
Yes, pretty good.
Hi, Milton Keynes. I'm Kate Theatre, natural nurse in a toxic world. I'm 36 years, a trained and qualified nurse. I am still a nurse. I resigned from the Nursing and Midwifery Council. I'm an independent nurse prescriber, trained and qualified. I'm also a personal nutritionist. I also present on an American radio. I have a completely clean record, law-abiding, if you'd like to call it that, citizen. Never in my 36 years was there ever a question of my competence, never a complaint from any patient. We have a right to speak up. This is our inalienable human rights. Now, yes, I was summoned to court. I gave them more than enough reasons, all with evidence and in a bundle. Please do go and watch the video on Equality Fair campaign on YouTube. The bundle is attached. You will see all the evidence there. Now, at the moment, I have had nothing from the courts other than 3 fines, and how interesting. 600, 600, 600. Doesn't that add up to the 3 sixes, the mark of the beast? Absolutely. So that's all I've had, nothing else from the courts. Now I am going to be coming forward with more on that. But I can absolutely assure each and every one of you donated to my Crown Justice Fund. All of that money went into a barrister's account, you're going to see that. And I am now going through the process of recovering that, and I shall continue the fight. So that is all going ahead, and everything that's been done to me has broken many laws, including being assaulted on camera with 3.2 million views on YouTube. Please do go and watch it, and you will see everything, and I will continue to fight. Now I'm just going to talk to you now for a few more minutes about what I do know about, to a great extent, and what I believe myself to be pretty much an expert on.
Kate, I'm so sorry, it's not coming through very well, so we're going to have to end it.
Yeah, sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. The sound wasn't good enough, was it? No, it's a big pity that. I'm not sure why Kate couldn't attend today. I do apologise on her behalf, but she needs support, and I would suggest that, I know she's working on a video to back up that very important court hearing that she didn't attend before Christmas. So keep your eyes open, sharp, for what Kate is going to say about her next moves on that. Yeah, that's a pity, but never mind. Okay, next speaker, Piers Corbyn. Are we ready? Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Piers Corbyn. Just before Piers goes on, let me just explain what we're going to do. After Piers' speech, we're going to march through the streets of central Milton Keynes, and I would appreciate as many of you as possible making as much noise as possible. We're going to walk past the COVID vaccination centre. Let's tell them what we think of that. And then we are going to head for the destination of Milton Keynes Theatre. And Milton Keynes Theatre has developed a full cashless policy and has gone through COVID pass paperwork, even if you're ill. This is the tyranny, this is the fascism that we are experiencing. And I think Benito Mussolini defined fascism really well in the 30s when he said it's not really fascism, it's corporatism. It's when the corporate whores get into bed with the tyranny that is the ruling class. It is when the corporate whores get into bed with the pharmaceutical whores, the media whores. And I've got a whole raft of things I can say about the BBC, but let me just say one thing. Mariana Spring, are you listening? Are you listening? You still haven't had the guts to interview me or any of my friends in this crowd. Where are you? You call yourself a journalist? The reason why I had... Firstly, can you lift that placard up and turn it round? Just turn it round. Mariana Spain took great exception to that placard at one of the protests in London, and she says I was an idiot. Do you think I'm an idiot? No. Good answer. Mariana Spring, the reason why that placard says experimental COVID vaccines kill is because they are. Even officially, the NHRO are reporting thousands of deaths. Thousands of deaths which should not be occurring. That is why, Mariana Spring, you are a disgrace to your profession. Anyway, I will pass over to my friend Boris.
That was this one as well. Probably, but...
Let's go. Let's see what happens. We're going to play around with the microphones, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see what happens best.
Maybe it's the same. We got two here, is that alright? Or just one? Two. Alright, let's try two. Is that alright? Well, it's fantastic to be here. Hello, Milton Keynes, and indeed half the world is here, I see. That is fantastic. And I want to warm you up with a quick hello. Resist! Defy! Do not comply! 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 I know, I can't stop you now. Well, as I was saying, it's a fantastic movement we have now. Compare this with a year ago. And we are now on the 29th of December, which for me is the nadir of the year. It is the end of the end, before there's a beginning. And we already have hundreds here on the streets ready to go into the fight in January. And I want to applaud especially the great creativity which we now have in the movement, the fantastic expressions going on. And I am proud to say that I am part of the group, Piers Corbyn, and the non-compliers. And our videos and so on, like down Regent Street yesterday, are hitting the media everywhere. And we were bashing away at a cinema yesterday, and I think Jeff's idea of going to another one now is great. We've got to bring down all this compliance with the New World Order. Okay, now what have we achieved in this last year? Well, we've got from nowhere to where we are now, which is amazing. But look, the New World Order have been prevented having a lockdown in October, prevented November, prevented December. But they're looking very carefully to do it in January. And at the same time, we know what's really happening, as Simone has pointed out. Footballers are dropping in the field from the jab. And we know what the local undertaker says, and he can't be here, unfortunately. And recently we've had a statement from Dr. Sucharid Bakid, who said, a private post-mortems reveal that 90% of deaths from so-called COVID are autoimmune attacks on organs by killer lymphocytes, particularly affecting the heart. 90%! That is crazy. That means the jab is the cause of the disease itself. And furthermore, it means I am utterly disgusted when I receive these bullying, harassing texts from my doctor who says go and get jabbed. So what I'm thinking of doing is telling my doctor I want nothing to do with you and leaving the practice so he'll get less money. And what we've got to do now is support all those medics who in effect are building an alternative people's health service now. We've got to build a real movement for alternative health service with actually administers the fight for health, not administers death. Because that is what is going on with the health service now. The accident and emergency, that's fine. But the whole thing is being guided into something very, very, very dark. And everyone who works in the NHS knows this now. And that's why we're going to support completely the NHS 100k. Those people who are now going to be sacrificed by the, government and the fake opposition in April. But they will stand for them, we will stand with them. So get ready. And we've got to support now building united action across the board with the vax deal. The vax deal are people who have been tricked. They know it. You've had your one jab, you've had two jabs, now you've got to have a third jab. The jab is not saving you from anything, except telling you to have another jab. This madness must end. So we've got to build a massive united movement of the jabbed and the jab-free. And I think we should chant that. Jabbed and jab-free, unite. Jabbed and jab-free, unite. Jab and jab-free, unite. Jab-free, unite. And the government, though, are looking for lockdowns, as I said. Now, they couldn't have a national lockdown. They do not have the police to implement that. But they might try local lockdowns or some tricks. And there will be an opportunity late January, early February. Our own long-range forecast, which we're very confident of, and we got Christmas snow in Scotland right, by the way, that there will be blizzards at the end of January covering most of the country. And there'll be a massive north wind making a North Sea storm surge. So there'll be flooding on the east coast, or potential flooding on the east coast, and also in Holland. Now that will be an excuse for a lockdown, coupled with energy shortages. We know that 4 nuclear power stations in France are already closed. We know that the European Union is playing games with Russia to say, oh, they're not giving us enough gas. Well, whatever, it is all a game. So late January there'll be an energy crisis, a food crisis, and a massive weather problem. So that will be a signal for lockdowns. And what we do then, whenever they're having a lockdown, what do? We take to the streets. Take to the streets. Take to the streets. Take to the streets. And the advantage of them having to have local lockdowns is you've got enough people in this country to go to any local lockdown and break it. That's all you've got to do. Break them, break them, break them. And bear in mind, the energy trick they will play is they'll probably turn off the connector of electricity, sending electricity from France to England. That's what they'll do. That's what they'll do. Because they'll say there's not enough energy in Europe. Because they've engineered it. So there will be actual energy shortages and food shortages. And I suggest you stock up in your sardines now. I admit I've only got one tin in my fridge. But, you know, seriously, it could happen. And we now have to build resistance in every locality like we've never done it before. Because we're going to win in the localities. We're not going to win just by standing in Trafalgar Square. We've got to beat them on the ground in every locality. And we can. And that's why I'm very pleased that this demo, this rally, is called, well, I think Jeff's called it, Let the UK Live, Milton Keynes Variety. And I will say, let Milton Keynes live. Let Milton Keynes live. And in every area we need organisation. Here we have our local leader, Jeff. Well, it's up to people in Milton Keynes to decide that. But, you know, I think Jeff is effectively the local leader in Milton Keynes. And I say, well done, Jeff. But in every area we need, you know, things like let Milton Keynes live. We've got let Cornwall live. We've got let London live. But we need leadership and organisation in every area. Because you've got to be ready. The internet will be taken down. You've got to have ways of getting in touch with people and getting them on the streets at the right moment. Whatever whatever the adversity. And I would say, when it comes to this thing about elections, I would say, look, I don't care a damn between the Labour and the Tories. They are all in this together. I'm not going to go into an election saying, oh, yeah, well, this Labour one is better than that Tory one, and vice versa. They are all in it together. Every one of them that voted for these lockdowns or the continuation or the Plan B now, they've got to be removed. And the fake opposition to them has to be removed as well. So that means we'll put up candidates. Even if we only get a few votes, putting up candidates, you can get massive support. And I tell you, we'll put up candidates in the next election and you'll get undreamed of support. We could even win seats in Parliament. But we'll be there not to support Parliament, we'll be there to break up Parliament. That's what we'll get into Parliament for. Let's be clear. This whole system of double-dealing, lies, controlled in their bureaucracies and worked for by the New World Order has to be swept aside. And you are going to do it. And I would say too, in every area, quite seriously, we build police liaison committees. Because we know a lot of police now are not doing anything against us. I mean, for example, my 14th arrest, right? I made jokes outside Parliament, outside of Downing Street. 4 days later, when the police were there joking, laughing with us, no arrest, nothing. 4 days later, the TSG van is sent at 1 AM from Chadwell Heath to arrest me outside my home at 1:15 in the morning. But why is that? Why hasn't the Metropolitan Police done it 4 days ago? Because they know it's bullshit. So the government now have to rely directly on the TSG to do their dirty work. And there's not enough TSG to do it. So we've got to build liaison with the local police and say, look, when the choice comes, when Boris or Keir Starmer or any of them says impose fascism here or there, what are you going to do? Are you going to do it, or are you going to stand with us and arrest Boris Johnson, Chris Whitty and all those bastards? You see, the police will have a choice. They will have a choice. And I know a lot of them are saying they already know they're not going to be implementing fascism. They're not ready for it. The TSG might be what the government wants, but there's not enough TSG. So seriously, you make liaison with the police. Not to go along with them, is to get them to go along with us. Okay. Thank you. Well, I've almost finished. So, as I said, in every area, we prepare what to do on day one of any more lockdown. We resist and block all these vax passporting venues. Great initiative we can have later on. We've got to be ready for anything, and on the right day, we have to take to the streets. Take to the streets. Take to the streets. Take to the streets. And I think I will end there. And there's plenty of leaflets here and posters all around, by the way, to give out on the march, with our favourite slogan again, which you must now take to the people everywhere. Resist, defy, do not comply. Resist, defy, do not comply. Resist, defy, do not comply. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Fantastic. Two mics, Piers. Do you know what? When I'm 74 years of age, I hope I've got as much energy as this man. Big round of applause for Mr. Piers Corbyn. Not just for today, but also for the work that he's done since early 2020. Thank you, Piers. I've got a feeling we're going to be busy in 2022 as well. Piers has got a bit of an optimistic view there in that speech about their lack of ability to adopt fascism. I'm afraid I'm a bit more pessimistic, because we have a situation where on January the 1st, our fellow Europeans in Austria will be leaving their homes at peril of a €3,600 fine if they haven't got their papers. That is real fascism, and it's happening right now. And that is what I fear, and people have got to wake up to that reality that is happening in the middle of Europe. Germany is no better. It's coming. And the only reason, ladies and gentlemen, why we have not got more draconian lockdown regulations now is because of the work that people like you have done for the last year and a half. Make no mistake, they fear the numbers. They fear what we are doing today. They fear what we're about to do now, which is to walk up to central Milton Keynes. To be precise, we're going to the entrance. And Mr. Policeman, I'll come on to the police in a minute. Mr. Policeman, we're heading towards Milton Keynes Theatre. And the reason why we're doing that is, directors of Milton Keynes Theatre, you are collaborating with tyranny. You have already imposed a cashless policy. You have already told everybody that attends your theatre that they must have their COVID passes, whether they're well or not. When in our lives have we had a situation when well people have got to prove it? This is it. This is the tyranny. They can screw it. I am not going to comply. Are you? Great stuff. Thank you very much for coming. And just about the police, notice today that we've had no police attention. The Milton Keynes police force have been entirely reasonable with me personally, locally. And London Metropolitan Police, you need to be learning from your provincial colleagues out here in Milton Keynes. This is how to do it. When I arrived at 11:45 this morning with my friends setting up the PA, two very pleasant police officers came over and said, "Oh, hello, what are you planning to do today?" And I said, "Well, we're planning to exercise our rights as free Englishmen, and we're having a rally to petition this tyrannous government. That is what we're doing." And he said, "Thank you very much. Have a good day." Now that is proper policing. Round of applause for Milton Keynes Police. And as I say, London Metropolitan Police, I've seen so many examples, and I know Will here at GB Resistance has been at the wrong end of what frankly is Gestapo policing. One of my placards says no Gestapo policing, and when you go to London you see it with your own eyes. So ladies and gentlemen, we're going to march, and I hope as many of you can stay on the march, because that's the important bit, really. That's the important bit. Oh, we have a presentation.
Oh, wow.
You say it. You say it. Yeah.
So before you all start marching, I can see you're ready to go. I have something from Mr. Corbyn here.
This is a genuine surprise.
So this is a Christmas hamper for you, Piers. We've got to look after our Piers because he's so amazing. What an amazing man he is, isn't he? He doesn't stop. So this is a Christmas present from all of us to Piers. Piers, you're a star. Thank you so much. We all love you. Keep going. Thank you.
I just want to say thank you, Debbie. Look, you're a star too, by the way. Yes. But this is amazing. It was not arranged by my PR operation, my non-compliers, singers, but it's fantastic. I definitely need everything in there, I think. Yes, all my favourites are in there. Well, okay, what do I say? Resist! Defy! Do not comply!
Resist! Defy! Do not comply!
Fantastic. Fantastic. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Well, that's been a great round of speeches. Do you agree? We learned some things there. I learned some things. Thanks to Debbie, thanks to Simone, thanks to Darren. I've just had one of the protesters here today who I've not met before. He just let me know that there are a lot of police behind that building. Now that's fair enough. They're on site and they are doing what they should be doing, which is to protect our right to protest the tyrannous government. And they're doing it with discretion, and that is much appreciated. So if I could have a couple of men, 4 or 5 men to help us with the kit, if you could just stand around for 5 or 10 minutes, we're going to put the PA system on a trolley and we're going to take the PA with us. So if I could get 4 or 5 guys to physically carry some stuff, because the trolley isn't big enough for everything. So get some volunteers, and as soon as we're ready, we will be walking up here onto the road. The important thing is we'll be walking on the highway, and we'll be walking past the vaccination centre up to Milton Keynes Theatre. See you at the shops, ladies and gentlemen.
Is this mine or yours? Where's the other one? Right. The other. Oh, yeah, that's this one.
That was pretty good, guys.
So if we take everything down,
Forest speeches go. It's good to see that we're going on a march.
The only option we have in this desperate situation is to force mandate spectacles, especially for those people who are not short-sighted, because there's an outbreak of asymptomatic short-sightedness in which people are short-sighted without even knowing it, in which technically, although they have 20/20 vision, in reality they can basically as blind as a bat.
When they're walking along,
So
or
I
take them
think
to
this
take
is
them
what
home.
Boris
Anyone come
Johnson,
here?
if he cares about keeping us safe, this is what he should be looking into. And for God's sake, don't let the opticians of the UK be overwhelmed, or we're all completely screwed. I've got a lot more of that sort of stuff.
That's brilliant, mate.
I do parodies, you know, I've done 20 verses of an alternative national anthem.
How did it go though?
I can play it to you, right? You want to hear it? Oh, you're going to be, do you want to speak to me later?
I think we've got a minute.
All right, well, I'll give you a taste. Okay.
I'll go and grab the camera so I can roll on.
Yeah, all right.
Only if you do the same after, yeah?
It's an audio file, so I'll play it in a second. Bear with me. I've also I sang outside the Australian Embassy a version of Waltzing Matilda called Vaxing Matilda. Anyway, here we go. Problems here.
You have a missed call.
So that'll be from ages ago. It's a work phone. Nobody has the work phone number.
This is being sabotaged by the globalists. They're directing 5G radiation at my phone at the moment. I don't quite believe that. Okay, here we go. Sorry.
No worries.
Are you always filming?
Well, yeah, he's, oh no, please go ahead. You need to walk through, yeah.
So we're going to be protesting together all together.
Is that yours? What's the loudest?
It's amazing because we're going to die.
Not mine. Does it go in here? Try and put it in there? I don't know where it goes.
Okay, I'll play it, you know.
Okay.
Or do you want to do it? It's up to you. Oh, he's doing him. All right, here
I don't
we
know.
go.
What's he? I don't know.
That is the game here. So we can see they chip everyone, they put all the chips people, and then they can monitor wherever you are, depopulate everyone, whoever is left alive, control everyone. So we know the plan. It has nothing to do with any virus at all, no health at all. This is a depopulation agenda and the control of all humanity on the planet to bring population down to 500 million. So we all know the lies on the BBC, CNN, Sky News and all that. They are all lying to all of us. We don't watch them anymore because it's all lies. So if you hear anything from all this mainstream media, it's all lies. You have to verify and be sure it's right. That's it.
When did you start questioning everything?
Well, I would say beginning of COVID. You know, we used to believe all these people gone to Mars and all this stuff. Really, it's not adding up. 2 weeks to flatten the curve, and we are still here. 2 years down the line, where is the virus? The mask don't make sense. They tell you if you're going to the bar to have a coffee, you can put the mask on, but once you sit down, you can take the mask off. How does that make sense at all? Only 6 feet, so does it mean the virus can calculate distance? Then is that what it's all about? So we know it's all a lie. So they're destroying all the middle class businesses, transferring all wealth to to Bill Gates and all Jeff Bezos and all these powerful people and taking away the money from the middle class and lower class and making everyone depend on the government. We cannot follow that anymore.
He's recording his little thing right now. I've just seen him. He's recording his thing right now. I see he's put his GoPro on. So I'd love to.
What channel are you?
I'm on YouTube as well. I'm a media consumer.
I think I've seen you. I think I've seen you. Yeah. Great to meet you. Great to meet you. David. I've done a few things for Wolsey in the past, actually.
I recognise you from around.
Yeah. I don't need it too much. I'll tell you why, because I only get more high profile because I lived in the Soviet Union and I had some difficult encounters with the KGB. I was a student, so I know totalitarianism can get really nasty. Very nasty. It hardly even started. I mean, just got to imagine what it'll be like in Austria in a few days. God help them.
Is it really January 1st that they're doing that? I know they're going to start
He said
fining.
January 1st. I'm not quite sure if it is.
I couldn't hear what it is. Hiya, how's it going, mate?
That's Mohammed.
Alright, my name's Owen.
Oh, that's brilliant. Yeah, so I mean, we're fighting the same cause here. I'm a Muslim myself, but we know where the end is going into. It's tyranny for everyone.
I think a lot of Muslims know
our
what's
kids
coming.
first. Yes. We can't even pray in the mosque anymore. It's just 6 feet apart. It doesn't make sense.
You know this injection, right, is using aborted fetal cells, and you're not allowed to inject.
We're not allowed to use that.
Yeah, not supposed to, yeah.
Personally, I can't even go to the mosque where you have imam who's got the vaccine because he's got aborted fetuses in his body. He's contaminated. Why would I pray behind him? I'm not going to do that. So we know what is in there. I mean, babies. That doesn't make sense. I mean, where is the virus? This is 2 years down the line. Where is it?
Why do you think that more of the imams haven't been standing up and saying, no, this is haram, this is against Islam?
Okay,
To be honest, most of them are paid up.
we're about ready to go.
Most of the imams are paid up. They've been paid. People like Mufti Menk and all of that, people coming out to promote all these vaccines, they've all been bought up. It's all the people on the ground don't know what is going on and tell people to go and vaccinate people. Even the mosque give people vaccines. What is that all about? So we know they've been taken apart. They're getting wages from government. I'll watch your YouTube channel then.
Oh, really?
So that's him.
No, that's him.
Okay, you have yours as well?
I don't have a card. I'm making a card in a couple of weeks.
You have a YouTube channel yourself?
Yeah, it's media consumer.
Can I just...
Yeah, just type in media consumer on YouTube, it'll come up.
Okay, thank you very much.
Nice one, mate.
I'll check you out.
Yeah, please do, mate. Please do. Yeah, no, Will's helped me out quite a lot recently, but yeah, we do very much the same sort of thing. But because the more people do it, the more sort of coverage we get of different places. You know.
So what's the name again, bro?
It's what? My name?
Yes.
Owen. What was your name?
Nice to meet you. See you soon. Thank you very much.
Right, yeah, let's go march. Alright, we're going on a march, guys. Pray for the signal. Hope that it sticks it out.
So much disease, take your poison vaccines up your arm. You can stick your vaccine passports up your arm. You can stick the vaccine passports up your arm. You can stick the vaccine passports. We'll see you in the high court. Stick your vaccine passports up your arm.
Nice one, mate. Yeah. Right, that's very much like what other countries in Europe have sort of started doing that as well. Yeah. Thank you. I might, yes, okay. Yeah, I hadn't named recent or local. Oh, really? Okay. Sorry? Oh, these two. Oh, thank you for subscribing.
This is good versus evil, and this is not about left and right politics. This is not about black and white.
Not sure what's going on with this here.
This is about good versus evil.
Doesn't look good. I don't know if it's related to us at all. Looks like a bloody crime scene.
We have evil people that are trying to crush the spirit of people. But is our spirit crushed? No! I was very important that we do not let the evil win, because we are the line of humanity here. And I'm going to catch up the front because they need to turn left, because they don't know their vaccination. No, that's it. 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, we're taking on left, ladies and gentlemen. The slow work left. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, on our right-hand side, we have the notorious Milton Keynes Vaccination Centre, where I am reliably informed this morning the buffoon of a Prime Minister that we have running our country turned up. Well,
Hello, mate. Yeah, I'm good, mate. How are you? Yeah?
And this is the vaccine rollouts, the so-called vaccine rollout alive and kicking on our right-hand side. Great. Gentlemen that are acting as security guards for this dystopia on our doorsteps in Milton Keynes, you need to understand that 23.5 million people have woken up to the dystopia that is going on in this place, and this is just one of many locations up and down the country. This is the tyranny, and this is the very place that Professor Luc Montagnier and people like Dr. Richard Fleming are warning us. This is the bioweapon being perpetrated against the people as we speak. And these people need to wake up. Just like 23.5 million people have not had a single jab. And now we're down into 40 million that have not had either one, 2 or 3 jabs. That is a significant number. And today we are doing the very un-British thing of bringing the protest to the doorstep. And this is what exercising our freedom of speech is all about. Shame on you! 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 The vaccine is a bioweapon! You're playing Russian roulette with the people! They'll come to your fucking door. So you want to send the jabbers door to door? Shame on you! Shame on you! Shame on you! Shame on you! Shame on all of you! Vaccine murderers! Vaccine murderers! Murderers! Genocide! Genocide! Vaccine tyranny! You're all compliant with tyranny! You all deserve it! Your time will come! Tyranny! Shame on you! Shame on you! Shame on the lot of you! Vaccine tyranny, you're killing people! Compliant in murder! Compliant in murder! Murderers! Do your research! Shame on you! 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 How people have been advised to test an illness that they have not got any symptoms for. And this is what they are trying to perpetrate against the people. This is fear. Fear is the currency of control. And we heard history only 85 years ago when Joseph Goebbels was controlling the people of Germany by creating fear. Murderers! Fascist bastards! Genocide! National Health Service! Health Service! Shame on you! 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 Murderers! Hold your crown yourself! Every vaccine is a death! Every vaccine is a slogan for protest! And this is what the English is all about, ladies and gentlemen. You won't see any empty here. We're just making a point. Fascist bastards! We are peaceful! You're killing people! You can stick us but he only announces his position. Murderers! Cowards! They're pretending they've got medical qualifications. They're killing people. They're not inviting people. These fascist bastards! Fascist bastards! You want to stand up here? Complicit to genocide! Have you had the vaccine yourself? Turn the jacket off, warm it up. Have you had the vaccine? Have you had the vaccine? What are you complaining? Have you had the vaccine? Again, ladies and gentlemen, keep it peaceful. We are here in peace. As around the country, this is the people speaking, and this is just a small example of the 23.5 that have not taken the poison. This is a small example of the 23.5 million people.
Did you do your research on the injections? You're not crazy. It's just taking the whole box.
Shame on you! And you!
Where are you planning on going with that?
Well, as far as you can.
No, it's just a bit late, mate. Come on.
There could be valves in there. You can have a little test valve.
Remain peaceful.
Just keep your own please. No need to get.
Do you work for the NHS?
My husband does.
Oh really? What position?
Frontline paramedic.
Oh really?
I've just said to these ladies, last 3 weeks, all this scene is blood clots. Last 3 weeks.
Yes, it is. We can stop if you prefer.
Please.
Well, wait, it's live, but we don't know who you are. I think it'll be okay. I think. Oh.
Sisters on the continent of Europe are rising up and are saying no to this tyranny and to this fascism, because this is our fight, ladies and gentlemen. This is our war. Nobody is coming to help us. We cannot rely on the parliamentarians. Even good guys like Steve Baker, Sir Graham Brady, where are you? Where are you? You should be on the streets. You know what is being perpetrated here. You are good men, but you're not doing enough. Your people are dying. People are dying on the streets. We're heading towards the central Milton shopping area. To be specific,
You okay, mate?
Yeah, I'm good.
No, I don't even remember.
I've seen you a few.
Yeah, we met quite a long time ago. Yeah. You okay, man?
I'm good.
Yeah.
Long fight, gotta keep going.
No.
Gotta get to as many of these as you can. You're right.
You serve?
I did serve.
Did you? Who did you serve with?
I started off in infantry, then I went to tanks, and then ended up in the office.
Oh yeah.
And then I left because I started to learn stuff.
Oh really? Was that? How long ago was that?
Huh?
How long ago?
Early night. I was gone by the 90s, mid-90s. I was out.
All right. Nice
Give
one.
you the opportunity to learn stuff. So
Yeah.
learn as much as you can.
How do you feel about what the government's doing now?
What do you think of me?
Well, obviously, I mean, based on your history, innit? Nice one, mate. You okay? What? How you doing? Yeah, man. As just written in the chat there, please do jump on my Odyssey channel. As I've written, there's plenty of content that's not able to go on YouTube anymore. So if you could get on, eventually we will all be deleted from YouTube. Someone here for their jab. But yes, it will be deleted. We will all be deleted from YouTube eventually. So
That's the end of it there, and then we're going to be at walking space.
yeah, we'll be deleted from YouTube eventually. We don't know when. So yeah, please do get on Odyssey, because that will be our hopefully our new home. And if you feel like it, if you use Telegram, please jump on my Telegram as well. I've got the updates and the chat. I try to post whenever I'm live on Telegram, so in case you don't get the notifications. But yeah, also please do subscribe, and you're better off hitting the notification thing next to it as well, because like today I didn't actually schedule this live stream at all. So if you put your notifications on, you get hopefully notified when something happens. But all of the live streams get taken down. Well, I take them down as soon as they're finished, because otherwise YouTube will delete the channel. So to be able to actually watch the content, you have to watch it when it's live, or catch up with any edited updates that I'll put up afterwards. Yeah, please do subscribe, guys. We've got New Year's Eve protests, 7 PM London Eye, New Year's Eve, just like they did last year. Of course, last year we were under lockdown, so hopefully this year will be more peaceful. You never know with the police.
Last time I was out, which was 2 weeks ago in Marylebone Road, outside Baker Street Tube Station, with Karen Reddick, who is here today. She's come up from London. There was no hostility, and I genuinely mean that. I genuinely mean that. People are fed up. They know that we are in a situation where the ruling class has got one rule for them and another for us. What do we think of that? That's a very English thing to say, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Do you know, this is the best day of weather we've had in Milton Keynes for about 2 weeks. How lucky is that? Is everybody joined up? Are we good at the back? Okay, let's keep the pace nice and slow. We're going to turn left here, and we're going to turn right up Midsummer Boulevard. So let's keep the vibe going. Keep it peaceful, keep it noisy, ladies and gentlemen. Because what we're doing here is trying to save people's lives. 23.5 million people have not taken the vaccine. The government lies. And millions of people have woken up to it. Have woken up to the tyranny that's happening. The Martial Muslims. Thank you very much.
When you're walking along with your face muzzled on, that's some more.
It does not protect you from virus and infection. And there is certainly no need to wear anything outside. You need oxygen in your body, and you need to nurture your immune system, which is what I've been doing all my life, and which is why I have not been going. None of us are saying that are not vaccinated. We do understand that. We're vulnerable. But the average age of death is actually higher than the average age of death. The average age of death for COVID-19 is higher than the average age of death. That should mean something to everybody. But unfortunately we have the mainstream media, we have
the unmarked police car is following up behind now.
Millions of people out on the streets, marching, protesting against their own government's tyranny. And ask yourself, why is it happening worldwide? Who is really in control of the world's government? And it's not an English thing. It's not big cartoons. Of our way of life. People are losing jobs, people are losing businesses, and we have been saying it from day one. For 22 months, everything that we in the movement have been saying has happened and is happening. We knew that there would be multiple lockdowns. We said that the 3 weeks to flatten the curve was nonsense, and that is exactly what it's proved to be. Total nonsense. The lies and the deceit coming out of Whitehall. But we have, the people have wised up to it, and this is why many hundreds of people have turned up to support a regional rally in central Milton Keynes and to listen to some speakers from different perspectives of life talking about the tyranny that is happening right before us. And nobody is coming to rescue us, ladies and gentlemen. It's down to us. We cannot rely on the parliamentarians. We certainly cannot rely on government because the deceit and the genocidal behaviour is accelerating, not decreasing. In our own country, in Wales and Scotland and Northern Ireland, there are draconian paper regimes going on as we speak. And this is what is coming to England as well. And one of the reasons why we are having this protest today is because we have a situation where we can just about do it. And I'd like to thank the Milton Keynes Police for their discreet policing of this event.
Sorry, darling.
started that? What started that? That card was there. I don't know. I don't think there's anything much.
Where's that time, bro? Not one case, and even the guards know it. And the guards are smoking at the back of the leave them to their psychosis.
Come on, Piers, don't worry.
Take your mask off! Take your mask off!
We know this. Psychosis.
Wake up! Fucking hell! Wake up! You awake? Wake up! He's awake.
I know. You want to come with us?
Come and join us.
No, I want, but I have to attend a medical appointment.
Forget the appointment, come and join us.
I wish, but my eyes are in danger.
Oh, okay.
Love you guys.
Yeah. You?
No, I edit mine.
Oh, really? Wow, look at that.
Yeah, sorry. I don't know. I'm trying to get it over. What channel are you anyway?
I'm media.
So what's on my face?
Oh, really? Nice one. What's your...
WTF is going on?
Oh, I think I've seen that as well. Wait, is that way? It's on YouTube?
Yeah. I filmed. That's put glitter in.
I try.
Yeah, that's the one. Check it out, mate.
When did you start recently? August? Okay, yeah, cool.
And that one I put.
Oh, yeah.
That's an awesome one. I've got a lot of interviews on that.
Yeah. It's weird, I think, like, the thing is, you just got to put up as many videos as possible, and then one of them will just take
I
off.
pulled down one video within 2 days because it was medical disinformation.
Yeah.
It's just a warning.
Oh, right, first is a warning, yeah. You don't want to get any further with that. I mean, like, what me and Will do, we just... No, not about... No, I mean, no, neither of us are monetized. They won't monetize us anymore. That's fine. I've never been monetized. It's, just avoid anything medical. Like, this live stream will take it down afterwards. Like,
I'm leaving out if it's medical.
yeah, like any words like that. Yeah.
Take your mask off. 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 Resist. Defy. Do not comply. Resist. Defy. Do not comply. Resist. Defy. Do not comply. Resist. Defy.
What the fuck is
Do
going on?
not comply.
WTF is going on?
Yeah, if you look for channel search, you'll see it.
Yeah, can someone get his link in the chat for us, please?
Boris J. Boris J. How many kids did you kill today? Boris J. Boris J. How many kids did you kill today? Boris J. Boris J. How many kids did you kill today?
So guys, that's about to see it. Yeah, if you can get his link in the chat, guys, go check the channel out. We're going to support each other and what we're doing here. Have a look.
Is he a banker or a banker?
Okay, there you go, guys. Off there. Go have a look at his link in the chat there. Go over, subscribe, all that. Well, if his content's good, subscribe.
Wait, please! Wait, please! We have a police escort! Wait! You can be what you like! I can't help it! Hold on, yeah. Fucking idiot. Keep going, guys, you're only going to slow things down, come on! That's it, go a different way!
Thanks to all the new people who've just joined. If you rewind about half an hour, you'll see everyone raided the vaccine centre. So if you just joined, well, if you want to watch it, I mean, I will be editing it and sticking it up later. Hopefully later or tomorrow I'll do an edited version of it. But if you want to watch it now before I take the video down later, just rewind about half an hour and you'll see it. Everyone went into the jab centre. Some woman grabbed some stuff actually.
Easy. You've got to put your load there.
Nice one.
Yeah.
Nice one.
I think you're much safer than they are. Put that on.
Because I have been on situations in London, in Birmingham, in Manchester.
Wake up! Wake up, aren't you? Wake up so much!
So you've got an inside? Yeah, so I get to read it. I work in these as well, so throughout this pandemic, I've literally been working until the morning. I've been in
Got about 1 more minute and then the police escort will come back. Thank you, please. No. Stupid. Can you please stop? Wait, there's a police escort. Please stop. You'll have to stop. Please stop. You've got brakes. Please stop. Please stop. Look, please stop driving. Please keep walking, folks. Stop. We have a police escort. Will you stop? There. Fucking wait. Can you all move on, please? Will you stop driving into me? No, stop. Can please keep coming, guys? Keep. Will you fucking stop? You go. She's driven into me 3 times now. Stop. Will you stop? Will you move? Everybody keep going, please. Stop. 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 Take it out, dear. Put your handbrake on. Don't take a noise. Can you move past?
Thank you.
Please keep going, folks.
Sure.
Can you just pull down the road? I know.
Yeah. All you had to do was stop.
Make sure that she's
Just pull down into a car park there for something happening. No, don't worry.
You're the murderer for that. That's it, you need to control, not it.
Come on, guys, out of the road, please. And she drove into me while I'm saying, can you stop? And I said, we've got a police escort. And she's like, where? And I'm like, there!
Did anybody get a wrench?
Mate, the entire thing's on this video. Live. I got pulled over, so chased them down the road and pulled them over. I know, he's like, oh, don't worry. Nothing will happen at all. Nothing will come of it.
Yeah, I'm absolutely fine. Absolutely fine.
The whole thing's live if you need
it's
it.
all good.
Yeah, no, I'm sure you're not.
Thank you.
What are you going to do? File a complaint with the police?
Tell you what, never.
No, of course not.
They're trying to do their best by us today. There's 2 people they've gone after because they keep driving into us.
Yeah, I don't imagine. They'll just have a word and they'll fuck off.
No, the other lady, they stopped and gave her a ticket.
Really?
Because she got mouthy with them, and eventually they were like, okay, well, we were just going to have a chat, and now we're going to extend the chat.
Okay,
right.
okay. Right, well, nice one, mate.
And you, take care. Get on with it.
I think you're doing a good job on it. Take care.
I try to.
Let's try and get ahead a little bit. Oh, I just realised I got a donation, guys. Wow, Lisa, thank you so much for that donation. I didn't see, I can't see my chat, so I've only got the name on PayPal, so I'll try not to read out any other details. So thank you so much. All the donations I get on this channel are the only reason I'm able to continue. It costs money for all the equipment and the travel and stuff. I actually had to borrow money to get here today. So yeah, thanks for the support, guys. Whether we'll get a new police escort, I don't know, because obviously that one's now occupied, dealing with that lady. But I'm sure if they wanted to prosecute her for that, they could. I'm sure they're watching, I'm sure they saw everything that you all saw. I don't think she was, I mean, there was an L plate on her car, but I don't think she was a confident driver or a confident human being. You see how sort of the stress built up on her face then. She didn't know what to do. Everyone's saying just stop, and she said where? It's like, where you are, you know? Just don't drive into people, I think is all anyone was asking. And yet she then drove backwards and then forwards again. Those people are the dangerous people, the scatty, erratic people.
by 6.9%. When you're not wearing it, 6.4%. You just don't do anything.
You know the truth, really, mate. Well done. Man, I love watching that.
Killing it.
We are marching together, people, and stick together. Do not let us divide us.
You can stick your eyes and vaccines up your eyes. You can stick your eyes and vaccines. They cause so much disease. Stick your eyes and vaccines up your eyes. Watch out, it's going to run people over. You can stick your eyes and passports up your eyes. You can stick the vaccine. We'll see you in the stick your vaccine passports up your eyes.
Stop here, ladies and gentlemen. We'll let everybody else catch us up. It's right here. Yeah, we're just waiting here for everybody else to catch us up, okay?
You can stay up fucking drilling up your eyes. You can stick your TV programs up your eyes. You can stick your GMOs. Stick your Georgia Christians up your eyes.
Just 1 minute, just 1 minute, just 1 minute, just 1 minute. There's children here.
It'll only be a moment. There's a junction there. We'll be on our way.
I've got an emergency. I've got to go and get this child. If you don't move, I'm just going to go. I have to go get this child.
You're going to run over people.
Get to an emergency hospital. Are you joking me? A mask over a child's emergency. Are you serious?
Red light.
1, 2.
Obviously, that woman knows all about health. Throwing their fortunes. Shout out to the 680 people watching. If you're new, please do subscribe. Check out my Odyssey channel, check out the Telegram. Please do subscribe on Odyssey. Trying to build up a new alternative media platform over there. Because at some point, as I say, YouTube will delete all of us, and there's plenty of videos, even from today, that will be edited and only available on Odyssey, uncensored. So I can't put them on YouTube because they'll delete the entire channel if we do. So yeah, please do jump on Odyssey. If you want to talk to more like-minded people, follow updates of what I'm doing, like today, jump on the Telegram. Cheers Dynamic TV for subscribing. How you doing? You up? Yeah, me too, mate. How's it going? All right.
Yeah?
What do you think about what's happening here?
I don't know.
Do you know why the people are here? What do you think? Why would you think they're here? Yeah. What do you think about all that?
Don't know.
Don't know.
Yeah.
Do you trust the government?
Oh.
Do you believe the news? You don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I have to go catch my mate.
Alright, think about it, mate. Don't trust the bitch. Thanks for subscribing. Hopefully that guy in Mercedes over there doesn't run anyone over. Yeah, the guy in the Corsa seems okay. Yeah, sorry, I'm not able to read the chat properly at the moment because Streamlabs has done that thing again where it just freezes the chat on my screen. So I can read it, but I have to get my other phone out. It's a bit difficult to do that while I'm trying to sort of pay attention and point the camera and stuff. Looks like the police escort is back, I assume. Unmarked, so it's quite hard to tell. Yeah, I think so.
Are they off again?
Hopefully they'll do their jobs, uphold their oath, and actually keep people safe at the back of the march. That is pretty much the only requirement the police have for being here. Apart from all that stuff that happened at the jab centre, but they didn't do anything then, did they? Thank you for subscribing. Gotta love them freedom babes.
Hello.
What? Oh, I need to use this one. Actually, oh shit, is this one just fucking stuck?
It's only a little bit.
I don't have any spare, and this one's just died. So I'm in the same boat as you now. Yeah.
I thought I'd charged it up.
Thought I'd charge this one up. What? Someone coming? Ah, yeah, she's not here. No, she's texting me this morning. I know she's nice. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. A fluoride stare. Oh, have we buffered? Did we buffer him? Hope not. I lied, I actually do have one battery, but I do need it. Give me one sec, guys. Just gonna change the battery in my pocket. shit battery though, so hopefully it works. Thank you for subscribing. Cheers. Please share it out and stuff. Hit the notification thing if you want to. So oh, to Queena. Yo, cheers for that donation. Oh, I missed that about 10 minutes ago, wasn't it? You're lovely, thank you. Right, where are we heading? To a shopping area. Oh shit, we're buffering.
Here we come!
Inside job! The resistance!
No vaccine passport! It's about controlling you!
With people.
You can stick it in. You can stick it in water with some no chocolate water. Stick it in water up your arms. Sing it way on 99%. Sing it way on 99%.
Exactly where one is finished with. Before Jeff leads us further around the corner. But I think that was great to go in there to give a clear message, and this is an example of what he's going to do all over the country. No to these vax passports, no to this cashless society. We've got to oppose every step, and as I said in there, the most disgraceful thing about this Milton Keynes Theatre is they don't need to do it. It's a sort of, well, it's voluntary. I was going to say, well, whatever signal. It's a voluntary signal of evil. Why are they doing this? Who are they doing it for? They're doing it because they believe in imposition of this new world order, this new fascism. But they themselves will not survive it. Loads of businesses think they'll go along with it, but they themselves will be destroyed. And all the jobs will be replaced by mega corporations, people on 0 hours contracts, and you will not have your freedoms because they'll be controlled by digital identity. And when you break the rules, you will be in trouble, like in China under the social credit system. That is what we're going towards. That is why we've got to resist them at every turn. And the cashless society and passporting, getting your papers, are just the beginning of the fascism they want. So I want to say thank you to everybody. But when you get back in your communities, do the same. No vax passports. No vax passports. No vax passports. No vax passports. And no cashless society. No cashless society. No cashless society. No cashless society. All right, well, thank you very much. I'll end there and give it to Jeff, who's going to lead us around the corner to another exciting destination. Well done, please.
Thank you everybody for staying with us, and thank you for keeping that very, very strong process peaceful. That is what it's all about. That it can be done, and the whole movement has been like this since day one. And that was people power in operation. We made the point, and we made it very, very well. I'd like to give the microphone to Debbie Hicks one last time. She's got a few more things to say. And then, if you want to go on a little bit longer, do you want to go to the shopping centre? Right, what we're going to do, I think the march along the boulevard, Milton Keynes is famous for its boulevards, and we're going to walk down Silbury Boulevard now towards the junction between the two shopping centres. And there is a public area in there, and I think it's very appropriate that we go in that public area. So I'd just like to say again my appreciation to the police in Milton Keynes. The policing is very discreet, and it is a proper lesson for the London Met on how to handle a peaceful protest. Do you agree? Because we know that there are lots of members of the police constabularies up and down this country that are on side. And we need you people to understand that the people want a good police force. But we do not want the Gestapo! Which is what we see in London. Anyway, I'm going to hand over to the lovely, the brave Debbie Hicks for one last speech.
Well, thank you. I don't know what else to say, really. I think we're all talked out. I think we all feel like that, don't we, after 2 years of speeches and rallies and talking in the communities. And on that point, I think that's all I'd like to say to you when we all depart today. It's really about talking to the people, isn't it? This is where it's at. And it's really hard, and I understand there's been some incidents today where we've had the public being difficult. And it is really hard, isn't it? Because we feel angry at times as well. I felt like that. But we've got to keep it peaceful for as long as we can. I'm not saying there's not going to be a point where things change in this country, but if we want more people on our side, we keep it peaceful. So keep talking to people in your communities. Just to say, something I'm doing in my neck of the woods in the southwest is we've got weekly street stalls in every local town now. We've got one in Stroud where I live, one in Gloucester, one in Cheltenham. I think the guys in Swindon are also looking to do something. That this really powerful, and do you know what I noticed just before Christmas? The people were coming up to us in droves, they're waking up. And if you're there on your high street, on your busy high street, you are like, they come up and they say, oh, thank God you're here. We've been waiting for you. Do that if you can. It's all about that now. I know things like stand in the park are powerful, but can you please make it stand in your high street now, guys? Stand in the high street and talk to people. Have an hour in the park and then go up to the high street. Do both. If that makes you happy, but it is about engaging with people now. Let's keep going. Thank you so much for an amazing day. I'm feeling quite tired, so we're on the final stretch now, aren't we?
We are.
Too much Christmas drink and food. I'm feeling tired today.
Well done, Debbie Hicks. Well done. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to head down the boulevard towards where the join is between the two shopping centres. And then I think quite a few of you want to go shopping unmasked, don't you? Be my guest. And then afterwards, if anybody fancies a beer, a good location is the Wetherspoons pub on Midsummer's Boulevard down near where the train station was. So that's where I and my buddies will be heading. So if anybody fancies buying a beer, come down to Wetherspoons. Thank you again while you're all together, but follow the placards at the front and we'll keep it short. Thank you guys, thank you very much.
Apologies to everyone with the buffering that we just had. What?
Can I suggest a resist, defy, do not control chants? Can the echo chambers here? Resist, defy, do not comply. Resist, defy, do not comply. Resist, defy, do not comply.
Not necessarily a fight against them.
No, exactly, perfectly right. Perfectly right. Because you know this whole thing is COVID or whatever. You know, that's the way in. That's the way to get people to partake in this thing. But then it's bigger than it's loads bigger than it. You know, so like I said, it's not about health, it's about control, you know?
Yeah.
Control of everyone.
Well, how long have you been aware? Like aware of what's going on?
Oh my God, from the beginning.
From the beginning of this, though, you mean?
Yeah, because at first, I thought, okay, when I heard about it over there, you know, it's kicking off. I'm like, okay, right. And then within the first lockdown, let me say that, in the first lockdown, I realised that this isn't it's not legit. It can't be legit. It doesn't make sense. What we're being told doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, people have been predicting it for fucking years and years. I mean, I've been like, look at that, you got a fucking pyramid there. Look. Fucking hell. That's mad. Yeah, I've been sort of aware of what's going on since about 2014. Yeah, so I knew something was coming. I didn't know what. I knew that they wanted a fucking like a digital identification system, like a biometric digital identification system. But I didn't know how they were going to do it. And so when COVID came out, I was like, oh,
this is
fucking hell.
Well, that's what kind of like what I think, because we've not been aware for a long time that there's going to be something massive that's going to split the world, right? And most will be on the side of and I'll say the right or wrong side, most will be on the wrong side. You know, will believe in the devil, so to speak, if you want to put it like that, you know. And that's what it's looking like now. I just didn't know how they were going to do it way back when.
Yeah, I know.
And so I listened to David Icke.
Oh, I'm not sure. I don't know for sure, but I think it's dodgy.
Some of the thinking, some of the ideas that you've got.
I might have to run off now.
Sorry, lovely to meet you. Owen?
Jed. Do you think it like keeps you safe? Do you think it keeps you safe? Do you believe the government?
In Corona?
Yeah, do you believe the government?
Yeah.
You trust the government?
I'm not retard, so.
Do you think that's what the fuck happened to kids? Are you supposed to be like rebels or some shit?
Yes.
Oh yeah. What do you do? Do you like to tell the police to fuck themselves and shit like that?
No.
But what? But you suck Boris Johnson's dick on the weekend?
Yes.
The fuck is wrong with you kids? Wake the fuck up, man. You think you actually what? I bet you listen like what music do you listen to? Come on. Drum and bass.
Yeah.
And what do they do? You ever been to a free party?
Not
What's going on, right?
Freedom protests. People are like, fighting for their, inherent, God-given freedoms and shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
What, so is it against the mandate?
Yeah.
Or against?
Yeah, it's not specifically. Yeah, it's not specifically against the vaccine. It's against passports. Okay. Yeah. It's about freedom of choice,
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay. We're not COVID denying though. Not COVID deniers.
I mean, you're just splitting hairs. It's because the thing is that would give the idea that everyone here is acting together as a hive mind, whereas obviously we're all just individuals. So, I mean, some people here might be okay, dick about it, but other people.
Stay COVID safe.
Do a bar spin.
I'll do a tailwind.
Do a bar spin right now. Bar spin or you're a pussy. Not bad.
Cool. Now go get the jab. Go get the jab. Well, what's with the colour of this screen? It's like red. So we can catch up with the protests. Yeah, what the fuck happened to kids? That's so sad, isn't it? Yeah, I know. I mean, Lisa, I know what you're sort of saying there. They're just, I mean, he said, oh, well, I'm not a retard. I said, well, that's not an argument, is it? Do you ever... I mean, they're kids. Not likely to be able to have, some kind of actual, debate with them. Not easily. They've all been, attending school and getting indoctrinated. They don't know how to debate and think critically anymore. Yeah, Hasdak, I do live in Worcester, yeah. Oh, I thought you were asking me a question. I don't know.
What's my name?
I don't know. Blame the teachers, blame the fucking government as a whole, man.
Commotion.
You what?
Bit of commotion.
Yeah, I mean, thought the shopping centre was a bit bigger than that.
I know.
What's that? Just in and out.
Just watch the book.
Yeah, so I'm trying to read the chat as well, guys. Isn't the colour of this feed absolutely gorgeous? Why has it got this lavender hue to it? I mean, it's kind of that colour in real life, but it ain't that colour. Are you taking a photo? Because how beautiful this fucking... What is with this colour, man?
It's really nice.
Isn't it gorgeous?
I'll send it you.
Well, mate, I'll go...
What was it? Red sky at night, shepherds delight. Red sky in the morning, shepherds warning. I think it's.
Yes, or maybe then it's a good omen, right?
Red sky at night, shepherds. Yeah.
Could very well be.
I think that's the way it goes.
Yeah.
I'm not a shepherd. So.
Yeah. You're Pete, right?
That's my son. That's people I'm called Pete. What's your name? I never got.
Owen.
Owen. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I know you're good mates with Will, and because obviously I've been sort of hanging out with him quite a lot recently.
No one calls me Pete because a lot of people think I'm called Peter, but my surname is Pete, not P-E-T-E, but
yeah, I mean, I know that's
like
okay. I know you've got different names. I don't know. I'm just going with what. Like.
No. A lot of people call me Pete. You got some good footage?
Yeah, still going.
What's your channel? I can't remember.
Media Consumer.
Media Consumer. Oh, I spoke to you on the phone with Will, didn't I? So you out at Will's having a beer?
Yeah, probably.
And me, and then you I was a bit drunk.
Oh, really? Yeah, I think we did like a little while ago. Yeah, a few weeks ago before Christmas and that.
Yeah. Just I was trying to arrange time to go around, and then on Christmas Day, I kept missing Will's call. I kept going back to sleep. Did
you do it in the end?
Yeah.
You did?
We were 8 at 11 o'clock.
Really?
And then...
he does that every
I said,
fucking
well, I'm
day.
skinned. He said, doesn't matter, I'll pay for an Uber. I said, besides. Obviously I'm paying back then. But and then we did the same thing on Boxing Day. I said 2 nights. We did it even bigger on Boxing Day.
Oh, really?
He kept cracking open.
He said he got...
He said, I haven't got any wine. I've got mead. I've got plenty
I
of
see.
mead. He kept cracking open.
But you see the amount of booze he's got in that fucking... He's got fucking tons. He's got everything there. And he drank most of my fucking apple brandy on my birthday the other day as well.
I saw one Jack Daniel's apple. Yeah.
Oh, well, no, my mum got me like an apple brandy, like a special one from Herefordshire. They take like cider that they make and then distill it into brandy. It tasted like fucking gasoline, to be honest, but it was alright. It's a special little bottle, looked really nice. Fucking took it out with me on my birthday and Will drank it. I caught your arrest fucking in Clapham.
Oh yeah.
I heard that one.
I've been to a few times. I've been surrounded twice from the arresting. I've been cut 3 times.
Yeah. Nah, you did a good job in that one. I called the video one arrest and TSG fuck off. I mean, it's still sort of like early days from the channel at the time, but yeah, it was strange because there was such a huge presence of TSG that day. They arrested you for it was for a previous thing. Or they kidnapped you. Oh, another one of those. I caught another woman like that the other day. Oh, that's it.
Someone made up this kind of thing. It's something like that. So not me, one of the other cases. So it might get locked down. And they've postponed it till early March, I think, or very late.
Okay.
The other one,
quite a long time.
the Crown. It's been.
Expect that to go better.
14 months. 14 months postponement.
Yeah, we expect that to go better because yeah, well, I mean,
14 months postponement.
Yeah. I mean, like Will with the letter, this has been quite a big season. September or something.
7 months after 8 years.
But apparently it's better in Crown Court than magistrate conditions. I'd like the Crown and get like a jury.
It's going to be John Chapman's in 3 weeks.
Yours is right.
3 weeks.
What, multiple dates throughout those 3 weeks?
Every day for 3 weeks.
Yours is right. Wow, bloody hell.
Never say 3 days for the Crown.
So is it,
I'm not sure why they need such shit. It can be all done in one day, I'm sure. 2 days.
Yeah, is it Westminster then or what?
It's Westminster Medford.
Oh yeah.
And then the Crown was Southern. I'm taking away from you.
No, so I was just actually wondering.
It's also very beautiful. It's a shame about Milton Keynes.
Yeah, it's a shame about the Milton Keynes part. Yeah, who's leading this now? I'm just looking. Everyone's just here. That's what I'm just thinking. Everyone's walking, but I don't see Biz, don't see Jeff next.
Signing bras like a rock star again.
Yeah, it does do that.
Bears always gets mobbed.
I know, but if they don't come up, then we are literally just a bunch of bellends stood on the side of the road, because I don't know if anyone knows where they're going. I certainly don't know where we are. That might be funny. I mean, obviously, like, you know, be your own leaders and all of that stuff.
No, he's there. He's there on the left. See him walking by the bus. He's got the sign.
Okay. Wow. He shall lead his people. I'm looking to move to London, but no, I actually live in Worcester. Worcester?
Worcester?
Yeah, long ass way.
I've never been to Worcester.
Worcester, it's alright. It's just a cathedral city in the Midlands.
It's like a rugby team, Worcester Warriors.
Yes, it is, yeah. Yeah, they're known for that. Not a lot else. And that. Yeah, it's all right, but yeah, I mean, I was as a whole, you've never been there. No, bits of it is quite nice. Or bits of it, but no, I mean, it's the outskirts of Birmingham, so I know, like Worcester and Bromsgrove, and then further north you go towards Birmingham, it's just like industrial.
So are you close to Coventry? Or is that the other side?
Coventry is like just east of Birmingham, so I'm like 30 miles south of Birmingham. So I just drive for this, so no, I mean, there's not much going on there, but like, I mean, I've been just staying like with whomever, all other streamers, you know. I was just saying to someone else, I've spent like 2 days at home in like the last month, basically. I went home Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. Well, I got home on Christmas Eve on the coach, spent 6 hours travelling. Did Christmas Day, Boxing Day, and then it was my birthday. And I came back and spent 6 hours travelling on my birthday to come back here, because this is where all my friends are. So I'm looking to move here, but yeah, I don't know how to afford it, how to do any of it. I've got an entire flat back in Worcester, but I'm going to have to like condense my entire life down into a room. You know some like freedom type people? Who might be?
I'm not living here. How long so short there's going to I don't know the landlord, so I pay as a property manager. And not just for this stuff I know, but all the I'm sharing flat. I didn't know that, but I didn't familiar with it. Anyway, he's got other properties. He used to have about 20 or 30 of them, and he sold them. I took them back. So he's got about 6.
I mean, I'd have to share with freedom-based people, you know. I mean, I can't afford my own place.
Oh, no, I'm not going to. That's why I'm renting a room.
But yes, if I got a room, yeah, it would have to be with, you know, aware people.
The good thing about this is the situation where you have a property manager. If something goes wrong, like the boiler goes wrong, or the lights go wrong, or he just comes and fixes it.
Okay.
If you're living in your own flat and the fridge breaks, you've got to pay the fridge. So that's good. I can ask him if he has any rooms in another properties.
No, yeah, no, I mean...
I know what you mean. You want to live with like-minded people.
Yeah, absolutely, have to. I'm just wondering what's going on here. Jeff mentioned the Weatherspoons, there's the Weatherspoons.
Oh, yeah.
The sediment here.
I did say that, yeah.
I'm just like mid-carrying, like, what's that?
He did say that, yeah.
Yeah.
What was this called?
Some people have just... Yes, the weather. Sorry. That's not necessary, is it? Sorry, I just can't really read the chat right now.
Look, we need to move.
He's managed to squeeze through. Quite dangerously, should I add?
Do you see kids with masks on? It makes me angry.
Yeah. Saw three on the tube. Saw 3 on the tube this morning.
It disgusts me. It
And
does.
then, you know what? We asked them about it. We asked them about it, and the parents said, "I know." They were like from I can't remember where, Colombia or somewhere like that. Puerto Rico, they're from somewhere. And they said, "Why are you doing this? It doesn't work. It doesn't do anything." And the dad said, "I know, but I have to. I'm doing this because." It's like, why?
Do they know how big a bloody virus is? You'd have to get the best telescope.
Yeah, they had no idea. They were just doing it to comply. They had no idea why they were complying. It's just the same basic fear thing, you know, fear of being penalised, fear of standing out, fear of breaking the law.
It just shows how thick our society is, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Like, where's the police escort now?
It's like it was a plan.
Oh.
Please, stand up, take your freedom back.
No, you're going too fast and you're told to slow down.
Well, Jeff and everyone stopped all the way back up there by the Wetherspoons that was mentioned, but he didn't say anything. Only a few people have gone over to it. Like, I've got no idea, like, is this Station Square again?
I hope so.
I don't know. I think it might be. I think it is. That would explain all the buses.
I think so, yeah, isn't it? Wait, you have to hold my hand. Because we're on a big road, that's why. Freedom! I tell you what, there's a smashing car up there.
Still beeping when there's no one in front of them. Yeah, just all the people who have tuned in today.
Isn't freedom so inconvenient for some people? You know what I mean? You know, that when they're sitting in the middle of the
Also, I realise. Oh, Lisa Sargent, yeah, cheers for the donation. See, that was about 10 minutes ago. Sorry, I was having a conversation when it popped up.
Have you had your jab yet, mate? You know, you jab yet? Have you
I've seen little 5-year-olds with a mask on a bus.
Yeah, thank you for all the support today. Sorry about the buffering in the shopping centre. By the way, I did record not in the shopping centre, in the Milton Keynes Theatre, the one that is requiring COVID passes, despite them not actually being mandated by law. I did record everything in there on my other phone, so I should hopefully be able to put together a video of that, so you'll still get to see what happened in there. Yeah, thank you everyone who tuned back in afterwards as well. I know it's frustrating when it buffers. I can't always tell when it's happening either. So, well, I think he may have given up streaming for now. If you are new, please do subscribe to the channel. If you come over from Will's channel or anything, because I know he's not streaming now. We do these streams all the time. We've got New Year's Eve coming up, 7 PM, London Eye. Please do come along if you can, actually, rather than subscribing. That'd be better. Hello.
Oh, please save me. Give me a cigarette.
You not got it? You lost it?
I was running out anyway, to be fair. I lost about £1.
You just need that? Have you got the rest? Or do you want the bits?
I have nothing.
You lost all of it?
I've lost even my dignity, good sir.
Oh, mate, don't. It's about to fall out. Yeah, like Jeff and that stopped up by the... Oh, he's here. What the fuck? Like, he said, oh, the Wetherspoons is here, and then like everyone walked past and he didn't say anything, so... Yeah, it was halfway up the road, mate. Jeff stopped there. A couple of people went in. No one said a
I
word.
think he's taking people back here so they can go home. But
Yeah.
what does it say about Corinne? Where is
Yeah, she should hopefully be. Oh, we are still going to the Wetherspoons, eh?
Yeah, Wetherspoons.
I got so confused because I was like, that's the Wetherspoons.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we'll just keep walking.
Mate,
Well, a few people
I've not
popped in,
seen her
didn't
for the last few hours.
No, I have. She was about, although fuck, I hope she made it back here.
At the back of it.
No, you still got battery in that.
Yeah, we've got down and stuff. Right, I might see you back there then. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, hopefully. Nice one, Jeff. Yeah, I don't even know how many people actually made it back here. Like, what the hell happened to everyone? Everyone's just like split up bit by bit. There's a group out here actually. We'll keep streaming for a little while, but well, probably not too long actually. We'll see what happens, but might have to end the stream soon, depending on if we end up at the pub or whatever else. Especially as obviously not a great deal's going on now. What? Yeah, good mate. Everyone's like disappeared.
They're just all gone.
It was just like filtered off bit by bit. There's a couple of people here, a few people here. Jeff's just going. Now, well, some people stopped at the Wetherspoons. Jeff's just going back up to it now. I think that's what everyone's been doing. They're like, oh, this is where my car is. That's where my car is.
These guys can you all make it?
Let me try and check the chat. So I'll just put his video out where the cop couldn't see his dick. Because he uploaded it the other day. He uploaded it the other day and only like 600 people watched it. And I watched the bit in the middle. I was like, mate, that was funny as fuck. So I told him to clip out the little bits like either end of it. He's called it Constable Weight Watchers Gets Triggered. Then I can't read the rest of that. I assume it's like checks to see if he's got a dick or something. I don't know. That was funny though. He's like calling him like a fat piece of shit or something. I don't know. And then he turned around. Like, are you talking to me? It's like, you turned around. And then then I think he said, oh, I bet you can't even see your dick. And he looked down. He actually looked down. Oh, it's funny, man. So yeah, please go check that out. Actually, I've got the... Oh, is that the link to it there, Lisa? But yeah, go... This is thing, Nightbot should pop that up as well. It is actual, isn't it? That should be the fucking Nightbot command. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, go sub to his channel, guys. Fucking sound guy. I was on his channel all of last night celebrating my birthday outside the banana shop. So fucking yeah, go support him. Fucking great guy, good friend. I don't know how far. Struggling to read the chat and some of those bits. Alright, fuck the on-screen chat's not working. I've just got my second phone chat, but yeah, I will be ending in a second anyway. Hope you've all enjoyed the stream. Please do subscribe if you want to, press the bell thing if you want to, because my videos, well, as soon as I finish this I'll be taking it down. What else? Yeah, thanks to all the new people who have subscribed. What's it, 8,800 subs now, that's cool. Just happy to show people the truth of what's going on. Yeah, if you want to jump on the Telegram for updates, or jump on the chat Telegram for so you can talk to like-minded people if you want to, you know, share thoughts, ask people for assistance with anything, share, you know, job postings, fucking places to live, you know, health stuff, fucking literally anything that you want to, you know, Yeah, choose your support guys. What else? Yeah, get on Odyssey if you want to. So I'll have more videos going up on Odyssey soon, because a few of the things that happened today probably have to be censored when I upload them. But yeah, invading the jab centre earlier, that was pretty good. Police did a fucking good job there. They could have fucking kicked off, but I guess they saw that we all had kids with us and all sorts. Yo, Indy man. Hope you're alright. What, the Weatherspoons? Has she gone to the Weatherspoons? Oh wait, that wasn't Korean. Oh, okay. Oh, it's my mates.
Hello. Yeah, hello. Oh, why are you wearing those things on your face?
That's what I asked.
Can't get COVID.
I'm a vulnerable child. Don't you see, they're vulnerable children with a 99.97% rate of fucking being fine. Well, then you don't need the mask anymore, do you? Do you know what do you know how many kids have died of COVID?
No.
0. Yep, 0, mate.
She's like, I'll actually hit you, bro.
She's like, if you weren't young, I'd knock you out right now. I would have booked her off.
Obviously she's bigger than you, right? So
no, she's not. She's not. She's like, I'm taller than her.
I don't think she would have knocked me out.
Would it be 1v1?
No, it would be 1v4. We'd be
Yeah. They're like a little gang, aren't they?
Yeah, we can't have it. You're like a little gang. You know, the anti-COVID gang.
Freedom gang?
Pro-freedom gang.
If you like freedom, do you like people telling you what to do?
Not really.
Kind of. It helps on my
It
life.
just sounds like you're trying to join our gang, and I'm not sure if there's space for you. But we believe in freedom, so we will accept you.
I prefer to have no freedom. If I have freedom, my life gets better.
But if there was no one ever telling us what to do, there'd be chaos. Because there would be laws in that. Yeah.
Okay.
What makes you think that?
What would happen if you punched him? He would punch you back. You guys are all hanging out. No one's telling you what to do right now, and you've managed not to murder each other. Right?
Yeah, but if there wasn't laws.
Yeah, that could be
the
laws.
reason there is laws
The law is don't hurt other people.
Well, it's common law.
What is your what is your belief though? Like,
liberalism, freedom.
why do you think masks are bad? Like,
They harm your airways. You know that there was a study.
But it increases. You know, you breathe in oxygen, you breathe out CO2. Carbon
did you
dioxide.
know these are surgical masks, and surgeons have been wearing these for like.
Yeah, and they change them every 20 minutes when they use them, or the second they get wet. And they know also they're only to stop like particles. They don't keep you safe.
And they don't stop stuff that's airborne. It's to stop actual spittle from getting out. When
That's
they're
all.
actually over someone and they're operating on an operating field, that's why they have it right there.
They did what was that study where they measured like the CO2 levels? Do you hold that?
Because you can't breathe.
You're taking it down.
No, just a cigarette, man. Yeah, I need to call Corinne. Are you enjoying all of the people? Sorry, guys, that our stream cut out. Anyone who's migrated over here from RGB, sorry about that. It just completely cut out, and I restarted the phone, I restarted the stream, I restarted Streamlabs, and it's just, I think it's. Oh, what network are you on?
Obviously, there must be some.
Yeah, we're on different networks, so we just.
Did it happen at the theatre?
It happened like on that road, all the way up to the theatre, like from that person with a car. I'm not sure whether you got that, the shouty woman. Like literally, it just went mad. It just like, but just for me, not for you. So.
Cut out at the theatre. I was down for like half an hour.
Yeah, it's what happens, guys. Like sometimes there's just places which have bad signal, and you know you wouldn't know it necessarily talking on the phone, but when you're streaming, you know, it's not the same as an audio file. There you go. I've got multiple lighters, but I've lost one because it was in my backy packet, and we had a casualty. We lost the backy packet, I'm afraid. There you go.
Yeah, chat on screen's not working either, but...
No, don't go out tomorrow. Stay in your homes and be afraid.
You know, they say great minds think alike.
Have you not heard Boris Johnson?
No one cares about
No one
Boris.
cares about
You young lads,
He's probably
you
at a
told
rave
me
right now.
that you need someone to tell you what to do. So I need you to stay at home and be afraid. Why are you not afraid? Why are you not more afraid? You be afraid. Why are you not wearing a mask? Why is your mask below your chin? Put your mask back on.
I do.
Yeah, I went to the arcade today and won this rugby.
Hey, that's fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
Kids should be doing. You can upload that to YouTube.
We're live, mate.
Are you?
Yeah.
What's your Insta?
Over 400.
Oh, I ain't telling you guys.
Oh, what?
Oh, come on.
Can I have my face blood, please? Because I'm recording me out my
Your
consent.
face is right
That's
there.
that's not how the law works.
If it's like
You have to
it's
blur my face.
public,
Look at that there.
yeah, cameras everywhere.
Yeah, that's the government, and
So what? The government get to film people, but I don't.
So I get to go round filming, and this urchin doesn't. That's the way I like it. Exactly.
The law, I'm a minor.
God, show me the law that says that.
See, your teachers have to do it because they're actually in custody. It's loco parentis. I used to be a teaching assistant.
Oh, fucking BBC have emailed me.
Down the street and someone's filming. You walk past.
Anything you want to say to the BBC? Apparently they're watching.
These guys are very stupid.
Oh, wow.
And they don't like Boris Johnson, and I quite like his hair.
Fuck 'em.
So
The BBC, no, we're not in a million years.
Not in a million years.
Oh, but how are you going to word the email? Please.
free hand sandwich.
Oh, do you know what you should do? You should sort of demand a 1 hour live televised debate between Vernon Coleman and Neil Ferguson. That's what you should demand. That is your price. For
Yeah, I don't want any money, I just want that.
Yeah, exactly. Demand it, okay? And if they give that to you, then they can use the footage. And that's how you tell them, please send that email.
Something like that, yeah. I'll do it after the live stream.
This is a pretty lesson someone. It's a bad game. It's a boss.
Right, I need to thank Corinne actually.
Is she at the pub or what?
You've got 2%. I need to thank her right now.
Oh, there's a premier there. There. Right, let's go there. James, I'm back to the premier.
Have a nice day, mate.
All the best, lads, and remember, live in fear and do exactly as I tell you whenever I tell you to do something. That's mean. These kids are great. It's just dropping those little red pills.
We're taking too many blue pills from school. Yeah, I know, Hazard. They fucking followed the protest here, didn't they? I saw them outside the shopping centre. They followed us this whole way.
Right, look, man, like we put ideas in their heads. That's why you reverse psychology. You're like, no, you need to do as I say, and they're like, no, and you're like, oh, actually, you're joining the crew, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
Can't get through to Corinne.
Oh, really? Do you think we'll back up to the pub?
Shall we walk to the car because it's just there?
Well, in case she's there. I don't want to put a car on stream, obviously.
Oh.
Well, she might not appreciate it.
First drink. Do you want drink? Do you want? Okay.
Yeah, I will end this stream in a minute.
The signal was so good until it wasn't.
We've got some good bits though.
Yeah, I did.
I just filmed, well, like you, I just filmed when we were in the theatre as well.
I just find it so funny that people think they can't be filmed in public and they're like CCTV cameras everywhere.
Well, he was getting out the law to show me, but does he know what website to even go to?
Well, it's like, unless something specifically prohibited.
Absolutely, it's a free country. Yeah, that's like I said, no crumple face. He's going to replace one in the chat.
Shall we see what the Milton Keynes Weatherspoon cuisine is like?
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, it was annoying. My live stream cut out for a bit, like near the end. We got near the theatre.
Oh God, I never caught up. I meant to come. It was Southern. What happened?
So the trial date is the 18th to the 20th, and it's funny of July.
July.
Yes.
So
Which is funny because when they
just
attacked
case
me it was the
hunting.
19th of July, so it's going to be the 1 year anniversary of them attacking. And they're going to be putting
poetic.
me on trial for being attacked.
Lots of people come along. I didn't mean to. I was sitting back.
Oh, it was just a small crew. I didn't try and over-egg it. It's like, I was thinking they might, no, I thought they might drop it. I don't want to, like, loads of people to come along if... all the best to you. Guys, we got to shout out the non-nonconformists on YouTube. If you want to...
New single coming up soon, I can't disclose it, but if you want a belated Christmas song, Christmassy, so Christmassy, ... this Christmas. And Christmas breakdown from last year, and obviously all the process of complication. And
that's your most popular song. Also, I'm just doing my job.
I'm just doing my job. New album out. It's called. This is in a video exclusive title: Haram Egg and Chips at Sonito Cafe. That's the title of the album. 15 songs, finishing with Plongeur, which has already been released as one of the singles.
Okay, guys, let's get Pete.
I love you all.
Oh, I didn't know you swung that way.
And I love everybody in our movement,
except for the police.
I love everyone who's rejecting the fascism.
Yes.
And in the Piers style, in the Mick Jagger / Piers Corbyn style, I will continue to prop my finger in thin air.
Otherwise, if they're not
who
the
took it from who? That's the question you should be asking. Did Mick Jagger pinch the pointing from Piers Corbyn?
Who's older?
Jagger's 4 years older.
Damn it. So, Piers is emulating Jagger, or was Jagger a late bloomer?
That's, yeah.
Alright.
Right, thanks so much for coming. That was a treat, and I owe you massive thanks.
Right, yeah.
Yes.
Right, you've got to subscribe to the Secret Project. Don't tell them what the Secret Project
Secret
is.
Project.
It's so secret, I forgot.
Right, we'll catch you soon. All the best.
Cheers, all the best. Safe
Alright,
journey.
see that.
Alexander the Pete, ladies and gentlemen, do subscribe to Non-Nonconformists.
Alexander the Pete.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure what to call him.
Well, his name is Alexander Pete, but he's Alexander the Pete.
Makes loads of sense.
Yeah. It's okay, I've doxed him.
Yes. Right, so find people, find Green.
To the pub and see if Green's
Take to the pub. Take to the pub. Pub?
We were just going to go to the pub. Go back to that. Drink, imbibe, like, share, subscribe.
What?
What? That needs to be our pub stream, surely.
You just made that up. It's quite good.
Can we get Piers to do it?
He'll do anything.
He literally will. You know they sent TSG to round at 1 AM to grab Piers outside his house?
Thought it was 2 AM.
Nah, it was gone 1 AM.
They had TSG.
TSG. It wasn't like it was TSG. He said it was TSG. So not even police. They said TSG round to his house at 1 AM in the morning. Right, so there are police there at Downing Street. It was just like trolling, and they're like, "Merry Christmas." Right. 4 days later, they sent TSG to his house.
What day was that? What was it? What day was it?
that was
On Christmas Eve?
I think it was like Boxing Day or something.
They let him have Christmas then?
Oh no, actually it was like
They take him into custody overnight as well?
The day before.
They pick him up, put him in custody or what?
Yeah, they just had him in for a night and then he came out at 3 AM. Because the thing is, I kind of missed the whole thing.
Hang on, wait, but they picked him up at 1. What, he was there for 2 hours or he was there for 26 hours? What? They picked him up at 1 and then
3 PM.
Oh, 3 PM.
Where are the pavements?
I know. They're all like underground, aren't they?
Okay, let's come on.
For a guy who spends half of his time walking in the road.
Yeah, but with a big crowd, I feel safe. Not exactly wearing bright colours.
No.
I don't want to get turned into a pancake by an unmarked police car. That is a piss take. Look, who's going to walk up and down those stairs? What about disabled people?
I'm sure.
Like,
well, no, there's a ramp there. You just have to go the long way.
Difficult for disabled people. You think going up and down, even if it's with a ramp, suddenly that makes it all disappear? What is this shit?
It's like at train stations now. They actually don't even have stairs at some of them, and you just have to walk up and down this very, very long ramp.
Yeah, that's a piss take.
That's a piss take in the opposite direction.
No, it's just it is a piss take because they're like, oh yeah, the ramp. That's all disabled people. It's just for people in wheelchairs. Like, what about people who have trouble walking up and down slopes? Like, genuinely, like my nan.
Yeah.
It's just it. Getting people to go up and down is more work than them walking on a flat surface. And you can try and dress it up, and I'm like, look, if there are stairs, there should also be a ramp, but ideally like a lift if you can, if you can afford it.
Hover bikes.
But there's no need, when there's no need for stairs, when you can just have a flat line, a flat plane, don't make people go up and down. That's just being a cunt to disabled people.
I've got nothing to say. I was just looking at the Santander
It's just
logo
awesome.
actually.
Can you imagine being disabled in Milton Keynes? It would be shit. What,
You mean
shit
no?
anyway,
I
to
think
be fair.
actually just being in Milton Keynes.
Yeah.
I mean,
Look at this place. It's fucking horrible. It reminds me of Wembley. Slightly better than Wembley.
yeah, it's just a big giant sort of like outside London place. There was obviously fields for a very long time, and then they thought, you know what this needs? Steel and concrete everywhere.
They could have made it look nice. You know, like,
Does anyone
black
even
canvas.
fucking live
what
here?
should we do? Smear our shit on it?
Right, is this the Wetherspoons? I think this might be the Wetherspoons.
This is the Wetherspoons.
Might be.
Oh, that?
Yeah, that one. I believe so.
Literally, it's so spaced out, no one will fucking live here. Look how empty this place is.
Yeah, we're walking to London. Is this place in lockdown? Oh, they've still got the fucking scooters, haven't they? Shit. Alright guys, I am going to end this stream now through the Wetherspoons. We'll see what happens. Please, if you haven't yet, please do subscribe.
Drink, imbibe, like, share, subscribe.
Yeah, what you said. Jump on Odyssey as well, please, and Telegram, because we're all going to get deleted from mainstream internet soon enough. Next, well, I'll have some videos hopefully in the next couple of days of what happened today, and we'll have New Year's Eve as well. New Year's Eve will be the next live stream, so check that out as well. Or if you can get to London, 7 PM. I posted the poster on Telegram and on the community tab on YouTube. So yeah, 7 PM London Eye, New Year's Eve. Anything else? Did I miss anything? I don't know. I don't think so.
It's £2 for a pint now.
beautiful. I love the provinces.
The provinces.
Look at this. Oh,
Yeah,
do you know what?
Because there's no money here.
No, Milton Keynes, best place on earth. Best place on earth. Come to Milton Keynes. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that money.
Incredible.
Right, you want a Stowford Press?
Fucking Stowford Press. Right, on that note, guys. I'm not repeating that comment, Jason, but excellent.